Networks.
The following program is an exclusive DisruptionNetworks.com production. Welcome to EC Radio Podcast. We would like to thank all of our sponsors for joining the Disruption team, and we hope that you will support all of our sponsors. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this program.
Disruption Networks. EC Radio. Disruption Networks.
Greetings and salutations. I need some volume. Or I need to lower the music. What's up, everybody?
Bring the noise.
It's EC Radio. The Thursday edition. Yes, indeed. Brought to you in part by my good friend Mike O'Connor.
What's up?
Or as some of you know,
who?
or as some of you may know him and love him as Chicken. It's happening today, people. Thirsty Thursday, EC Radio, Disruption Networks. We're gonna get all up in your eardrums, yo. That's what's happening. I like it. Have fun today.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's our Friday.
Thank you, John Liebing, for the jingle. How are you, people? What's good? Greetings and salutations. Z and Chicken here hanging. Thursday, snowy Utica. It's what happens here in upstate New York.
This is our Friday.
It's our Friday, right. Well, technically on air Friday. But we actually work on Friday, though, too.
Oh, we work on our days off.
Yes. We do. As a matter of fact, if you're mentioning tomorrow, I will be on air with Tommy Drama at 10 a.m. for Back Talk, as we switched his day around, which is actually cool. It works out a lot better. He can get more guests that way and a bunch of
It's easier for you.
It's easier for me as well.
You're not coming in right after working at the bar.
Yes,
Come straight
indeed.
in. Actually, I have a Z day today.
Uh-oh.
I'm going from, EC Radio to the D line, then straight over to O'Donnell's to work there all night.
Oh, you got to bounce tonight?
Yeah.
On a Thursday?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I just got the word. So
You're pulling a Z shift, huh?
a Z shift.
Yeah, that's how it goes in my world. Speaking of Z shift, I got to give some love and respect out to the Stanley Theater. They got the Rockin' Riggy Greens Fest happening this weekend, actually. This Sunday from noon to 3. They're having a Riggy contest.
So there's a Riggy contest and then the wing contest.
Is that happening on Sunday too?
Saturday.
That's Saturday. Yeah,
Yep.
There's a lot of food contests going on this weekend. But the Stanley's doing their Riggies, Greens, and Rock this Sunday, noon to 3. Encora's going to be there. Aquavino, Bella Regina, Danielle's at the Parkway. Old School's got some great Riggies.
They're good.
They're excellent. DeCastro's out in Rome. And Tiny's, good friend JoJo.
No Giorgio's
from
huh?
Tiny's. No Giorgio. I said the same thing.
I love Giorgio's.
Me too, dude. Me too. But you know what? Old School is very comparable
I think
to
Chicken's
Giorgio's.
going to be there.
A lot of Chicken's going to be there.
I think I might. I don't know. I've never actually been to the Riggies Fest.
Well, they're doing it right on the stage at the Stanley.
Nice.
There's 10 vendors. That's it. They're doing it because there's also music as well. A lot of our friends are playing. As a matter of fact, Jerry D and the Dovetones will be there. And also Max Sheldon, my great friend Max, John Keller and Dan Phillips, and also Rocco Graziano with Mike Peake, the other guys.
Nice.
They're going to be up there performing. So they're doing a bunch of acoustic performances and eat a bunch of food. There's going to be greens and riggies. So I told the crew at the Stanley, give them some love and respect on the podcast, and rightfully so. I love those guys, man. So for more information, you could go on to thisstanley.org, and also got to mention the big Daughtry show that's happening Thursday, March 29th at the Stanley. Now, Chicken,
That's still a thing?
Daughtry.
I honestly, I haven't heard from Daughtry.
He's still around.
Is he?
Oh yeah,
I
he's still
haven't
around.
legitimately.
I don't know
like,
if he's got any new music out, but he's out there doing a thing. He's been out. He hasn't stopped. That's
Who's
for
the
sure.
other one?
But let me tell you
Bo
something.
Bice
Chicken.
was the other one that.
Bo Bice.
Yeah, remember him?
No.
It was like
No, I've seen
Daughtry
the name, but I have no
Daughtry
idea.
and Bo Bice were like the rockers from those shows.
Yeah, was it like The Voice? Right? Was it The Voice?
No,
or America's Got
I
Talent.
think it was
or
America's Got Talent.
One of those.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to any of those back
Me
then.
either.
Those are my blackout
I still don't
years.
pay attention to him.
Right, seriously. But Daughtry's going to be there on March 29th, and I'm telling you, Chicken, it's better than Tinder. They go to a Daughtry show. It really is. You could go. There's going to be probably 15 to 1 girls.
Oh yeah, I
You know,
imagine.
either you like this music or you don't. You still go, and there's going to be some women you can mingle with. Chicken. I think it would be good.
You know,
it'd
that's,
be better than going to like the grocery store or
That's how I feel like a Buck Cherry show.
Puck Cherry.
They bring a lot of women.
Yeah, but they bring out a lot of women that have no teeth.
No, no. They bring a lot of women that have no standards. I mean, you know all the girls that hit on when they start singing "Crazy Bitch" and like, oh, that's my song. And you're like, her,
Yeah,
her.
the whole 10 rows in the front there. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, Daughtry brings out a lot of women. A lot of women. So, Chicken, you should get some tickets to that.
Yeah, probably not.
It'd be like speed dating.
I spend way too much on shows as it is.
Yeah. Right on, man. Yeah, so make sure you go out and check out the Riggies and Greens and Rockfest this weekend over at the Stanley. And the winner, there's actually a contest, too. I forgot to tell you about that. There's a contest with the Riggy Fest.
Yes.
And the winner walks home with the Stanley Cup.
But
A little play on words. But yes, the Stanley Cup will be presented to the vendor that has the best Riggies.
what is it based on? Like just
I don't
all
know.
over flavor, just best of.
I have no idea. I'll let you know when I get there. I'll be there bright and early. They're like, can you get up that early?
Why? What time did you got to be there?
Actually, I don't have to be there till 10. They're like, can you get up that early? Because it's from noon to 3, so they're going to need help setting up and stuff. But if you want to come party on the stage at the Stanley, it's a great venue. It really is. Beautiful.
Oh, the Stanley's awesome.
I'm happy to work there. I love working there, actually. It's a gem. It really is. Probably the most beautiful theater in all of upstate New York, if not the Northeast.
It's a cool, really, really cool place. It really is. I mean, I think it's one of those things that, you know, like we here in Utica area that we take for granted. You know
We
what I
do.
mean? We don't. People are like, oh, the Stanley. But then when you go in there and you look around, you're like, holy shit, this place is amazing.
Beautiful.
Like I'm guilty of that, you know. Like then when I worked there, I'm walking around, I'm like, holy shit, like this place is amazing.
Yeah. I love locking up at night and I shut off the lights and you can kind of just see the gold still glimmering in the nighttime.
I know I
in the
brought the-
darkness. you can
got-
still see it. You can still see all the. I don't know. It's good. All
You
the
gotta
crown
listen to the
moldings and stuff.
song. I'm telling you, by Sabotage, when the crowds are gone, when you close the Stanley, it'll go through your head, like because it's like the whole video. He's in an empty theater. You know what
yeah.
I mean, and that's that's what the song's about when the crowds are gone, and it's got that eerie feeling to it. Every time like you close the theater, I always think of that. Like that song just pops in my head because it's such an eerie song
Yeah.
when the crowds are gone. And it's a great song.
Have to check it out. Definitely check it out. Coming up in a little bit, too, our good friend Johnson's going to be in the house with us.
Oh, Joe.
I got a couple questions I want to ask him about health and fitness and stuff like that. Johnson's a guru
Yeah,
in
he
that
is.
stuff. He's always been in great shape and an athlete and health
I want to start
instructor, and he's also a referee and a coach. And so
I would love to start a like a relationship question Q&A with Mojo.
yeah.
But I think he needs a female counterpart.
Yeah.
Like him and like a female counterpart, like asking like relationship style questions. I would love to be.
Yeah, but you know
Part
what?
of
If he
that.
had a female counterpart, eventually down the road, he'd probably end up being
I know. especially if it's somebody like equally as what's the word I'm looking for?
crazy.
Well, it wasn't quite the word I was looking for, but flirtatious.
There you go.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Because I mean, he's kind of got like I used to call it like the Mojo stare. Like I used to live with Mojo for
Yeah,
like
right.
4 years. So when I brought a girl in from like brought her home, I would make sure like he wasn't around because like as soon as they seen him, like everything they're all about me. And all of a sudden they see him, they're like, oh, and they like get caught in a stare like Dracula. You know, like when Dracula give you that stare and they just like come to him, like that was the Mojo stare. And I'm like, they're gone. I lost him. Like, I'm never getting him back. Lost him to the mojo.
Yeah. Well, he'll be here in a little bit. My old choke slam compadre.
Yep.
And also later on, coming up, a tremendous talent, a great hip-hop artist coming from Utica. Malcolm McGill's going to be in
You've
the
been
house.
telling me about this guy.
He's great, man. He came on Ease Beats and Biz a couple weeks ago and did a freestyle. And like 15,000 views he got from doing the freestyle. It was really cool. He's out there doing his thing. And not only is he out there doing his thing, but he's out there repping the 315 because he's doing some good shit. So he's interviewing WNBA players, and he's got some top-notch producers out there that he knows. And so Malcolm's doing big things. So he'll be here right around 5 o'clock, and maybe he'll do a little freestyle for us. Who knows?
Our boy JP was just checking in, so give him a shout out. He said he's listening.
JP, what up?
What up, JP?
What's up, buddy?
Who's been working on a little baseball action with us?
Yeah, we got to sit down and talk with him, too.
Him
but
and the gaff.
There's going to be a baseball podcast coming on the D really, really soon. I'm looking forward to that, actually. You know I'm going to be jumping on that podcast an awful lot.
It's like Schofield and the gaff.
Yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Kind of has that little ring to it. You know?
Yeah. I was thinking 3 Up, 3 Down, but there's already a 3 Up, 3 Down podcast out there. Yeah, but there's a bunch of stuff out there. We'll touch base with them, have a meeting.
I did like
them.
what Silbert mentioned, the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
The baseline's cool. Actually, I like that.
but Schofield and the gaff.
There's somebody checking in right now and on the text line, and if you too want to text us, it's 315-505-8433. I don't know, I can't spit it out today, chicken. 315-505 the D. That's our text line. Hit us up. I got somebody checking in right now, wants to know if there's going to be a mow-down this year. Fans are in an uproar because they announced Peach, but they're thinking that there's going to be a no-down. I'm not I think that's up to Mo to announce that. Do I know? Yes. If there's going to be a mow-down or not. I do know, but I guess I'm not at liberty to say. I don't know. I feel that that's their announcement. They should announce it type of thing. So ask Mo.
Or not.
Actually, Mo has not really said anything about it, but they are announcing that they are playing Peach Fest, which would be pretty cool. And Mountain Jam announced their lineup today too.
Yeah, how's that looking? Yeah,
Dude, I don't know what happened. They've gone. They went.
Tom Petty played last year, right?
Yeah, Tom Petty, Peter Frampton.
Well, obviously he's not playing this year,
now it's like Jack Johnson and yeah, I know. It's totally gone really commercial, and it's really weird. The lineup is not what it's normally used to having. You know, there's not no government mule. There's none of that. I thought they started the thing, but anyways, as far as Modown goes, I wouldn't get your hopes up. How about that? I'll just say that.
Just be ready for D-Fest.
There you go. D-Fest, they'll be off the charts.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Well, we've got some things in the works, though, in the springtime with Saranac and stuff like that. Saranac's going to be announcing a pretty sick lineup this year, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
wait.
From what I know that's on holds right now, they're going to be announcing a pretty sick lineup. And some of your favorites are going to be coming back. I'll just put it to you that way.
Suicidal
But
Tendencies?
there's a hold for a really, really big thing, and I hope it goes through. I'm not at liberty to say.
Did you say there's a hole for really big things?
There's a hold
for
a really big act to be coming through at the brewery.
Yeah?
And
kind of pumped.
I hope it happens. So please.
They always bring a great summer series.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And for what I know right now, they've got a pretty good lineup going.
And even bands, like, I'm not a huge jam band guy. I'm not into the white boy reggae. A lot of the stuff isn't my scene. But I go to the shows.
You do.
And I have a great time.
You do.
You know what I mean?
I've seen you smiling.
Yeah.
I think I even seen you do the hippie jig.
I don't know about that.
I think I seen it once, chicken.
I think I was in line for the Porta Johns.
Good one.
But, yeah, it's a blast. I mean, you're out there in the summertime. You're out at the brewery. You're having drinks. You're drinking some great beers. You're out there with friends. You know what I mean? It's just such a great atmosphere. It's such a good time. Like, I don't understand why more people don't take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And then when you're done, you get all of Varick Street to go party and have a blast.
Yes.
And I've never...
And that's the beauty of it, too,
I've been to so
afterwards.
many shows, right? And you always see fights and people get kicked out. I mean, I'm sure it happens. I just don't see it. I don't see the ruckus. I don't see the mayhem.
There's never a ruckus.
No.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually a real tame crowd.
Yeah.
People are just there having fun. You don't get the assholes and the dicks. Those guys,
You get an occasional belligerent asshole, but
You're drunk.
Our security staff is top notch, and they diffuse that situation really quick.
And I think like the people in general that are going to these shows are there to go and have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, people going there to like, just to be dicks and, get rowdy. They got other events for that. They get the field days and shit like that.
Yeah.
I've always had a great experience. Even bands, like I said, that I've never even heard of, like Grace Potter. I had nothing to expect there. I went there just to hang out.
And we've been talking about her all week.
Yeah, she blew me away, man.
We have been talking about her all week.
I went for Humphreys McGee, and like I was sitting in the VIP having a few beers, and all of a sudden I hear, what the hell? I'm here Hollywood Nights. I'm like, holy shit, they're doing Bob Seger. Ran right up there. I'm like, and they killed it. And I'm like, am I like cheering on Humphreys McGee? Like, what the hell's going on here? But it was a great time, man.
Humphreys rocks, though.
They were good.
When it comes to like the jam band world, they're like the closest thing to like a rock or metal band that you can get, because their licks are just they're like rock and metal licks, just they got that heavy edge to them. They do. I love them.
And like to bust out with a song like that from Seeger,
right?
It was just so obscure and so
Which is
unexpected.
your favorite artist?
Oh,
so
absolutely, dude.
So that actually made you respect them more.
Yeah, it
That's
did.
cool.
Actually.
Good, man. See, and that's what jam bands did to me too. Like the first time I saw Fish, they were playing LaGrange. They opened up with LaGrange by ZZ Top. I was like, wow, this is sick.
It's funny you mentioned LaGrange, because I remember talking to St. Ange, and I was like, I wanted you guys as Brass Knuckle to cover LaGrange as like a little, like metal it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought you guys could have rocked that.
Yeah, we could have. But yeah, Fish covered LaGrange the first time I ever seen him. I'm like, wow, okay, I like this.
It's cool.
Yeah, it kind of took me by surprise too.
When Mo did Pink Floyd,
yeah,
dude, me and Todd were just like, yo, let's go. We just ran right up there and just,
Godzilla too. Remember they rocked out Godzilla too at Modown? I love when they play that cover.
that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love when bands like step out of the norm and play something different.
Mo always plays a bunch of covers. They're famous for it. A lot of those jam bands are, because you got to switch it up a little bit. You get tired of probably playing your own songs, so you got to switch it up, keep it fresh.
And the crowd like goes wild. Like when they
yeah, exactly.
when they shot the fireworks and they played Team America. Oh man, the look on Mandry's face when they started playing. He's like, oh my god, and he's looking around for his mask. He's like, where's my mask? I gotta go. It's like his shining moment. He wasn't ready.
I seen him. Him and AO popped in on the bar last night.
Nice.
By the way, Chicken, I had you have a fan out there. God damn, I can't remember his name now. It's gonna drive me crazy now. But you have a fan out there.
Oh yeah,
that listens to the D-Line religiously.
Cool.
And I guess you made a pick, and he was running with one of your picks a couple weeks back, and he was agreeing with you, and I'm like, well, you got to text in, chime in, and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I can't remember his. Oh my god, it's gonna kill me. But he was at the bar last night.
Hopefully, I was right on the pick, and he doesn't hate me now.
He was like, "Tell Chicken I really digging what he's doing with the D-Line."
Awesome, man. That's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I will. All right, cool. I'll tell him."
It's good to hear because, like, we do our thing, and we have a few people chiming in, but here you don't really know who's out there listening, who's enjoying it, and we're having fun, so fuck it, like we love it.
True, and then when you go out in public and people bring it up to you, it warms my heart.
Yeah, it does. It makes me feel good about what we're doing.
Yes, man. JP's checking in too. And he's saying when Mo, Haley Jane, and Ryan Montbloom played the Chain from Fleetwood Mac that first night at Modown, that was pretty off the charts too. And they nailed that. That was a great cover. That was definitely a great cover.
Adeline's checking in on Twitch.
Hi, Addie.
What's up, Addie?
I love you, Addie. But yeah, it's cool when you're going out in public and you're hanging out, and like somebody brings up, and just like last night, they're like, "I tell Chicken I love what's going on with the D-Line." So I was like, "Cool, I will.
Awesome.
I definitely will." God damn, I can't remember the freaking name now. I'm horrible with names.
It's probably a family, member.
No, I don't think it was. I don't know.
No, my family don't listen.
But anyways, Mandry stopped out and AO stopped out.
I gotta get Mandry on the.
And it looks like we're gonna be doing some street rock stuff.
Mandry's got to come on the D-Line sometime.
Yes, he does.
Absolutely.
He's a Raiders fan. He loves the Raiders.
Yeah, we all got our faults.
He's a big Raiders fan.
No, I know that. He was Christmas. Remember we were down there. He was tweaking over the Raiders. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love to have him come on. I know he knows his shit too.
Yeah, and he went to Syracuse, so he knows he's very well versed in Syracuse basketball as well.
Oh, yeah.
You posted that video the other day of him and I. It was pretty much the first thing we ever did in this room, in this building.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you posted that up, and me and Mandry sat down and talked about our starting five from SU, all-time starting five.
Oh, yeah.
on that webisode, if you will. Z's company.
That was a good question too.
It's you know what it is, but there's only like a select few you're definitely gonna take. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a pool of 10 there's probably 10 players that everybody mentions,
I don't
and
know.
that's it.
Who would you go for point guard?
Who I go for point guard? All time. We're going all time.
Yeah.
Are we talking one-offs too, though? See, there's other questions you got to ask this too.
What do you mean? Like,
Are we going one-offs? Like Michael Carter Williams was a one-off.
yeah, but he wouldn't even crack my top. No, 'cause-
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
'Cause,
he
like,
would count. He would definitely
Deion Waiters, does he count?
Yeah,
Dante
absolutely.
Green, does he
Yeah,
count? Like
absolutely.
those guys do
Absolutely,
count. So
'cause
if they
Carmelo
play there for
counts.
one, yeah.
Carmelo
Okay.
counts.
My point guard, hands down, there's Pearl Washington.
See, I would probably go G-Mac.
G-Mac would be my shooting guard.
Really?
G-Mac would be my shooting guard.
See, I liked him at point.
And then
or Sherman Douglas. Sherman Douglas at point and G-Mac at shooting.
See, I take Pearl over, and he just edges out Sherman Douglas for me, just because of the legendary status. And not that Sherman Douglas isn't legendary, but it's Pearl, man. He's immortal in Syracuse.
I know, but Sherman Douglas, I feel was like underrated. Like, remember?
Oh, he was. No,
Dude, those alley oops, man. He alley ooped that shit all day
He
long.
was the king of the alley oops.
See, and that's what I liked about him because he facilitated more. He wasn't more for scoring. He was the passer. He was the facilitator. He's the one who got the ball in the hands of the big men, and that's what I liked him. He got them guys in scoring position. So, and then G-Mac, man, that kid had ice in his veins. You know, and that kid
did.
He had heart.
Uh-huh.
That's what I loved about that kid. His heart.
And then I got to go Carmelo.
Mellow.
I got to go John Wallace, and I think I got to go Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman. We got him at center.
Yeah. It's a big front.
Yeah.
The backcourt's pretty good, too, but the front end is pretty tall, if you think about it. Wallace was, what, 6'10", 6'11"?
No cycling.
No Cycling. I think Coleman was better than Cycling.
Yeah. Cycling was like a big body.
Yeah.
He was okay.
Yeah, he was good for 5
Coleman
fouls.
was definitely better. Yeah, they kind of were weak in the big men department.
In my sixth man, Billy Owens.
Billy Owens.
He's my sixth man.
He's like, I had high hopes for Billy Owens in the pros, and then he just never made it.
No, he made it.
I mean, he made it.
I want to say he played 10, 12 years in the
No,
NBA.
I don't think he played
yeah,
that
he
much,
did. For
did he?
sure he did. He just
I
did.
think Donald Foyle played longer than he did.
Donald Foyle. You know, I'm glad you mentioned that because Malcolm McGill, who's coming in at 5 o'clock, he made a Facebook post the other day of the best basketball players ever to come out of the 3-1-5. And they were throwing Breonna Stewart, and nobody said a Donald Foyle but me. I'm like, the guy was a man amongst boys back in the day.
I actually forgot about him until just now.
Donald Foyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a man amongst boys. He was playing for Hamilton.
Yeah.
And we had to face him when I was at Mount Markham back in, like, 9th grade, 10th grade. Like, he was huge.
Yeah,
It
he was a
ridiculous,
7-footer, wasn't
and
he?
He was a 7-footer. He was a man amongst boys.
He could have played anywhere, and then he went to Colgate.
He went to Colgate for a while, and then he ended up. He bounced around in the NBA a little bit. I remember him going to Golden State.
I always wondered if he played for a bigger school, if he would have had a better NBA career. You know what I mean? Like, had to, like, played against better talent in the NCAA. You know what I mean? And, like, been NBA ready.
He played for a while, man.
Yeah.
He did. He was there for a while. I want to say he played there almost 10 years, too. I'm going to searching Billy Owens. Billy Owens played in the NBA for a while. He played with Golden State for a while. And now I want to say Billy Owens is back in. Is he back in Syracuse, like teaching school and stuff like that? Or
Oh, is he?
Or
I don't
coach?
know.
Or oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Preston Shumpert. He is back in Syracuse and he's a basketball coach and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, he played from 91 to 2001. So yeah, he played
really?
10
Wow.
years. Yeah, and he played with Golden State, Miami, Sacramento.
He must have been
Seattle.
primarily a bench player then.
Well, no, the games played. He played a good 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but if you're on the bench, you're still going to play.
He played a good 6 years of doing 70 plus games. So, and then he has a couple that are in the 40s, a couple in the 30s. So,
I always expected. I mean, he, like, in college,
I got to search a Donald Foyle.
he
now,
was
too.
good in college, man. That kid was a beast. I always expected. I thought he was right there with, Coleman,
Yeah.
What about
Donald Foyle played from 97 to 09, man. So he played 12 years in the NBA. 12 years. He didn't really start much, though. He was kind of a bench player. But, yeah. Yeah,
A lot of those guys.
Yeah, Hamilton, New York, man. He came right out of
A lot of
Hamilton,
those
New
guys
York.
screwed themselves, man. Those one and dones. They just stuck around. The Dante Greens and Waiters and all those guys, and Carter, and they just stuck around a year or two more. They could have had so many championship teams. They could have been Duke. You know what I mean? They could have been Syracuse could have been talked in the same respect as Duke and some of these other schools, UConn. But they keep losing talent every year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they get all this talent, and then next year they lose it. And then they got to go find new talent. And then they find it, and they lose it again. And so if they could keep these kids together, a lot of these guys would have played together. Was it Ennis? A lot of these kids were great, but they just had another couple years to develop. But nope, they decided to go to the pros. And
I'm getting all these text Oh, that's where it is. I see. Okay,
what's that?
I'm getting all these messages, and I can't find where the hell they're coming from. And, yeah, it's JP actually checking in. He's saying John Wallace over Cycli any day.
Yeah.
Donald Foyle is the announcer for the local Warriors games.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
You followed his whole career? Oh, nice.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Warriors,
Yeah.
Grizzlies, and Magic.
I'm telling you, when he was in high school, Donald Foyle, and he's like the 7-foot kid, he was just towering over people. Like, he just put the arm up and just dunk it over people's heads. It was ridiculous to watch him. It was a man amongst boys back then.
Yeah, he was
and
a
then
big
plus,
dude.
he's playing at Hamilton School, which is a graduating class of maybe 50, 60 kids a year, 90 at the most. It's a small school. So they're in Class D. So he's playing against, like, pretty much all the rural kids.
Right.
And here he is at Hamilton just towering over everybody. Class D.
Beast in it.
Beast in it, right. Beast in it. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But, yeah, he had a long career, man. He really did. A lot of these guys. I want to talk to Malcolm about that. When Malcolm comes in at 5 o'clock, I want to talk about some of the best players that have ever come out of the 315. Josh Wright.
Yep.
He had a great year. DeAndre Priester from Proctor. Kid had an amazing career.
Funny story about Josh Wright. Him and his whole family were customers of mine when I worked over at Sprint. And it was when SU was going on that run there. And I said, I think they're going to play Maryland. And I said to his mom, Josh Wright's mom, I'm like, yeah, I just don't think they're going to pass Maryland. I just don't see it. She goes, I have faith in our boys. I feel we can do it. That night, her son goes and hits the game-winning free throws to win the game.
Yeah, I remember that.
I seen her next day. I'm like, you were right. She goes, I told you. You were right. You were right.
He worked with his mom?
No, she was a customer of mine at when I was at Sprint. The whole family was customers of mine. So him, his brothers, the whole family. So father, everybody.
Really?
Yeah. So I would talk to him, talk to him about the games and stuff like that. So
If you're talking to 315 too, there's a lot of Syracuse people as well. A lot of basketball players that come out of Syracuse. In
Oh, yeah.
high school ranks.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about Coleman, Dajuan Coleman. He's one. Who was the other?
he was a letdown. I thought that kid was going to be a beast.
Yeah, but he was a beast in high school.
I thought in college, though, he's such a big dude, man. Like, same thing with Anawaku. Like, at the Anawaku, like, can't you get this guy, like, somebody to teach him how to be a center?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, Anawaku was so big, and like, he could have been, like, a mini Shaq. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is teach these guys some, box out moves, some simple fade shots and stuff like that around the basket, and they could just boss people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you just think you would get somebody to work with them, like a Kevin McHale type of person, or Patrick Ewing, or somebody to work with these guys to develop them to be true old school centers. And I think the NBA right now, because there's no true centers, they would just kill it.
Because all these players are so versatile and can carry the ball and run up and down the court.
Right, but
You
nobody's playing
Look
big
at
ball
Anthony
anymore.
Davis.
Yeah, that kid's a beast.
He's a beast. And I'll tell you what, 6'10", right?
He's pretty close to, yeah.
But he could probably play every position on the court.
They said when he was in high school, he played point guard.
Right. He could probably play every position on the court.
He could
But
drop.
man,
He could drop the three. He could rebound. I mean, the kid's getting like 15 rebounds. Well, now you got him and Cousins together, and Cousins is like the mirror image of him.
what's up, buddy?
What's up,
How you
man?
doing, man?
How you doing?
Have a seat.
Come on in. Right here.
That's it right there. My boy Johnson in the house with us.
brother.
Great to see you, bud. How you doing, all right? My choke slam compadre? We're talking about the best player to ever come out of the 315 basketball player.
Oh.
We have a guest coming on after you. His name is Malcolm McGill. And he posted this question on his Facebook, and it drew up a long conversation. I mean, there had been 1,000 comments on this of all different players that people could think of. And
Right.
you've been in the high school ranks for a little while.
I mean, I guess
Couple, 2-3 years.
from my era, maybe a Donald Foyle.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing.
I mean, only because I've been here for 21 years, but you know, the people you hear about from back in the day were like Dave Cash.
well, that's baseball.
Well, he was a great basketball player, they said too.
Oh, yeah?
You look on the wall at Proctor, he's got over 2,000 points. He's a leading scorer in school history in basketball too.
Oh, is he really?
He might not be 2,000, but he's the top name, top number.
And then he went on to
Maybe
play second
Josh.
base for the Pirates for years.
Yeah, Josh Wright might have been. Josh Wright's got to be up there, right?
Yeah.
But Foyle, what he did, you know, right? He made it. You know, anybody else
NBA.
make it to the NBA?
I don't know. If you ask my brother, he would say him.
You know,
My brother.
Yeah.
He would say he was the best.
but your brother.
Yeah, my brother would say he was the best.
Well, here is, and I was just mentioning it, Donald Foyle played for Hamilton High School, right, which is a graduating class of, 90 every year? It's
Smaller
Class
than that
D.
even, yeah.
Class D. And here he is, this 7-foot behemoth of a man coming in at, 16 years old and just stuffing
Right.
kids left and right. You know, it was like a man amongst boys watching
Yeah.
him play.
He went to Colgate too, right? So he
Yeah.
didn't even go big time. He could have,
He could have.
but he wanted to stay close to home, right? Because family, or
Wasn't his mom sick or something? He had,
well, his what's the word I'm looking for? Like his adopted quote unquote
foster
family. I
family.
think his foster family kind of thing. Were from the area, right? The Hamilton area. But yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the one that jumps out at me. I hear what's the other guy's name that you hear a lot about? The Charles Shackelford.
Oh, Dale Shackelford.
Dale.
I forgot about him, actually. In fact, he was a former guest of the show, too.
Oh, yeah?
Sorry, Shaq. He's the original Shaq. But here he is. He played just before Boeheim. He was in the middle of Boeheim's he was there for Boeheim's very first season as a coach. And even the year before, when he had the old coach, before Boeheim.
Oh yeah.
So that was his freshman year, and then he had 3 years with Boeheim.
Yeah.
He still goes and coaches on his summer programs and stuff like that. But, yeah, he had a long, promising career, too. Well, he had a great college career.
Right.
And he went overseas and played for a while.
Oh, that's cool.
He was out in Greece and Italy and throughout the European
Yeah,
League.
Notre Dame guy, right? And he was a Notre Dame high school kid.
Notre Dame, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's Scott Knapp. Remember him? He was another one from, I think he was from Holland Patton.
Isn't
Right?
he the one that played for Creed?
That's Scott Stapp.
Oh, sorry.
that might have been VVS.
VVS, that's right.
Right?
That's right. My bad.
Yeah,
VVS.
yeah.
He was another one. DeAndre Priester.
Right. Yep.
He was a good ball player recently,
Absolutely.
playing at Proctor a couple years back. There's
There's got to be somebody from Rome. This just seems like somebody from Rome.
yeah.
There's always somebody from Rome.
What were the other names that were coming up? Anybody else jump out?
You know, a lot of them were going to Brianna Stewart.
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
they're talking 315, so they were bringing it out to Syracuse and the women. I mean, if there's anybody out there right now who's
Right.
doing it at a high level, it's her.
Yeah, right. She's CNS, right?
And then there's Brianna Kissel, too, right? And she's what, from Proctor? Or the girl from Proctor?
yeah, who's she
who's
playing?
the-
She played at Pitt, right? Pittsburgh, I think.
There's a few of them.
Yeah.
There's a couple girls from the WNBA from the area, which is great.
Definitely.
Great to see. Yeah.
Yeah, girls basketball's good. You know,
Yeah.
I've been refereeing it now for 4 years. It's, you know, especially when you're up at the higher levels, the double A's, the A's, you know, you're in the Tri-Valley League and go to those games and, you know, there's some good, I'm doing JV still. I got one tonight. I got Notre Dame and Liverpool.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, you know, the basketball's good. They play hard.
Well, I was just watching something on the NBA, and they were talking to one of the female NBA players, from the female NBA teams, and she was saying how like the game has changed. You know, these girls are dunking now. These girls
Right.
are shooting 3-pointers, and because I mean, you got schools like UConn and stuff that are just bossing it. You know,
Rutgers and
yeah, and like
Tennessee's always been tough.
so now they got like girls like Cheryl Swoop, women like Cheryl Swoop that like now these girls idolize, and that like they have people like that's their Jordan,
Right.
what's his name, Reggie Miller's sister, what's her
Cheryl.
yeah,
Yeah, Cheryl Miller.
yeah, like now they got people to idolize and emulate, and like
Yeah.
those were their Jordan, like so now their game has stepped up. To
Now
like,
you got to remember the girls like Rebecca Lobo, Deanna Taurasi, like
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
Yukon girls are huge role models. Still doing
Absolutely.
it too at a high level.
because you think prior to that, their role models were male basketball players. You know what I mean? Like you think when we were kids, you know, we're Dr. J and Jordan, like Bird, like we had these guys to emulate. And now you see the talent levels increasing now with these guys, because we grew up. Now you want to be better than your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see that in the women's basketball as well. They're trying to be better than their heroes, and you're just seeing better talent now.
Yeah.
And the product's getting better.
Ever since the inception of the WNBA, I feel like women's basketball has become way more popular, right? I mean, it was always, like, you think about the Final Four with women, you always saw, like, Pat Summitt against the other,
Gino.
before Gino.
Oh,
But I'm talking about, like, in the 80s, early 90s, before UConn became really prevalent and a powerhouse. You always had, and they would only really televise these shows or these games.
right. The big games are the only ones you saw.
That's it. But
Yeah.
nowadays, you see all these college games, and the WNBA games are being televised on ESPN and stuff. It's it's
Yeah.
out there more, which is great. There need to be more women's sports. I feel.
Yeah.
There's women hockey league.
Yeah.
The USA
Actually,
women's hockey team is really good.
You took me to my first women's college hockey game.
Here we go. We could do a whole podcast on the 2003-2004 UC women's hockey team. That's for sure.
Where are they now?
I still follow a couple. I'm friends with them on Facebook
Oh,
and
cool.
Instagram. And
I remember
so-
watching coming down. He was watching women's softball and college softball, and I'm like, dude, what are you watching? And he's like, college softball, and I'm like, what? And I'm, blonde, hot blonde here, hot blonde there. I'm like, that's why you're watching this. I'm like, my God.
It's like watching women's two-person beach volleyball. Right? You get caught in that rabbit hole.
You tell me about it. You're
And
like,
women's
wow.
tennis, of
Look at
course.
these.
Yeah, women's tennis.
Yeah.
And they created volleyball too.
That's what I love about the hockey. They check each other, and you hear, ah! And you're like, wow, that girl just laid her out. And all of a sudden, you just pull it out off her helmet, and it's like, beautiful girl. And
Yeah.
you're like, wow.
Yeah.
There was something about that UC hockey team, right? What was it?
Oh, man.
Tim Reynolds was the first night we met them all.
Oh, yeah. Tim Reynolds had played the EC, and
Yeah.
the whole women's and men's hockey team came in. That was the first time we ever got introduced to them all. And we had a great year. That was
They were a lot of fun.
We had a
man.
lot
What
of fun.
Good crew.
We had a bunch of private parties for them, and
Yeah.
I remember a couple times we would lock the doors, and they hired the Crazy Fools. They played, and
Yeah.
then they were dancing on the bars, breaking tables and stuff, and just they were a wild bunch. A lot of
fun. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Bunch of good girls.
it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too.
I wanted to ask you some health questions.
Okay.
Actually,
Let's
today
see
I
if
was
I
thinking
know.
about when I wanted to talk to Johnson. Are you familiar with this whole cold shower thing that's going on? There's a whole new
I'm
thing
not.
of guys taking cold showers, and it's actually supposed to, like, I have a buddy of mine, Matt, who takes a cold shower every day. He's been doing it since January.
Not the Matt that we know, because
No.
he doesn't take showers.
So he takes a cold shower every day. It toughens him up or something. And the way he describes it is he has the worst part of his day right in the morning.
So he tries
And
to
so-
start his day bad.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
gets
but
better.
So it gets better. Exactly. It's kind of a thing. So
that
have
sounds
you-
horrible.
I saw this on Joe Rogan too. Joe Rogan was talking about it. Like, there's dudes that go out there and it's a body test to test your body, see if you can.
Yeah, but once
Have you heard of any of this?
I honestly hadn't
Wouldn't
before.
you?
No.
once your muscles
Now I got to pull it up.
tighten up,
Yeah.
once your muscles tighten up from the cold, so like
Right.
There's no way to get loose. That's for sure. It's
right,
the
like so
opposite.
you're tensing your muscles up
Yeah.
to start your day. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
Hang on, I got to find it now.
I mean, technically, I shower at night myself, not in the morning. So my day starts with walking out into 0 temps anyway. So I'm cold as hell
Okay.
until my car warms up.
What it does is reboot your body. It's saying it's how to radically improve your health and mental conditions with cold conditioning.
Okay.
So what they do is
Obviously, they don't live in New York State where it's negative 14 degrees. I think that'll do enough for you.
You get plenty of it.
Yeah,
really.
right. Fuck a cold
I'd
shower.
say.
It's colder to walk outside.
all right,
Yeah.
so like exercise, short-term intense cold exposure creates stress on your body. And again, like exercise, our bodies adapt to stress in a number of ways. The adaptations equate with wide range of health benefits. It's not about taking a single cold shower next Wednesday. Cold conditioning must be practiced regularly to create the adaptive response you were looking for. So you got to kind of do it regularly.
Sure.
It's to kind of make your body adapt to this. But regularly can be as simple as a few minutes in the cold shower a day, and benefits go far beyond just feeling warmer in the cold and increasing your ability to thermal regulate. Grow your brown fat. So it's supposed to help you grow your brown fat.
What the fuck is brown fat?
Well, brown fat? No.
No, I'm not familiar with that term.
Brown fat. Here we go. All of us have a ratio of white to brown fat. With infants and lean people have a better ratio of brown. People battling obesity, almost pure white. So if you're in better shape, I guess you're brown
So good
fat.
fat, bad fat. We're talking
Good
white
fat,
is bad,
White
brown
is
is
bad,
good.
brown is good.
I mean, it sounds like cholesterol or something, right? We would say LDL, HDL type stuff. I mean, it makes sense what they're talking about technically, right? You know, again, adaptations. The human has been adapting since, you know, Adam and Eve.
Right.
I don't know. Are we supposed to
Ah, it
talk
seems-
evolution? Are we
It
supposed
sounds
to talk
way too
Adam and Eve?
gimmicky. But although they do have like the cold baths like for athletes, but that's more for injuries and
Right.
things like
Well,
that.
you go from cold to hot, right? Is that how they do it?
And even treatment for injuries too. Sometimes they do the cold into the hot, back into the cold, like the shock. You know, cold tends to make, you know, obviously it makes blood, you know, move away from the organs and away from the injury area, right, to your surface to try to warm your body. So it goes to your skin when you're cold, right? As opposed to heat tends to do the opposite, right? It makes blood rush to your organs and rush to your injured area if that's why if you were treating an injury. So I imagine that if again you're trying to do this cold, you know, cold kind of conditioning, what's going on is it's making your organs work OT, which then conditions them to be more, you know, for lack of a better way to put it, conditioned. Right. When you exercise, you want to make your heart more efficient. So potentially, what you're doing is you're making your organs more efficient.
Put 'em
They
in
don't have to work
hyperdrive.
as hard, right? When things are normal, because you make them work hard, and then you let them come back to normal, right? So maybe it makes sense.
Couldn't you just jog in the cold in the morning or something like that?
Double it up.
Yeah, just go out for a cold jog instead of like a cold ass shower.
Yeah, but then you create that sweat, though.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
that's
probably
the
still
other
sweating
thing. You're
there.
still sweating if you're jogging.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, though. Back in the, 1700s, man, there wasn't heat. We didn't have, well, there was heat through fire, but we didn't have electric heat and all that other stuff. And they didn't have all these, they didn't have any of the technology we had. They were wearing what? Furs, pellets.
Right.
For clothing and stuff like that.
You ever
Right.
watch Vikings?
So I'm sure their bodies was way used
Great
to the
show.
cold back then than we are now. You know?
Yeah. Well, and of course, you know, it's just similar to you have friends in Florida that think it's cold
Yeah.
when it's 50.
Yeah, right.
And then we here, if it was 50 right now, would be like
I
taking
love
stuff
it.
off. You know, like 2 Fridays ago when it was 60, we're like,
This is beautiful.
yeah. But, you know, I think you're right. It's a conditioning thing. And it probably does, you know. I mean, cryogenics, you know, it didn't help Michael Jackson with his drug problem, but, you know, it's something that they have those chambers and stuff, right, that are
Kind of the same thing,
right.
right?
It's supposed to help you, your immune system too, right? Germs don't live in cold as much as they grow in warm temperatures better. So
But does it bring down your immune system though?
I think it's it technically might have the opposite effect as far as being able to strengthen it again. You know,
Because you're training it.
right.
So it's almost like it's a reboot, is what they're saying.
Yeah, it makes
It's
sense.
a reboot.
Oh, I could never do that though.
I don't think I
Nah.
could do it either. I was going to ask you guys.
Nah, I'm not a big
Nah.
fan of cold at all.
I want to be able
Right.
to see my penis before noon. Like, damn,
happy
that's
to
just
see your
rude,
penis
man.
at
Waking up and fucking taking a cold shower. Oof, that's just rude, man.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
No,
No?
I've done it, not on purpose, but yeah,
The hot water heater was broke.
yeah, taking a cold shower, it's not fun.
Lenny used up all the hot
Yeah.
water.
This is not a good day. That's how you start off pissed off.
Right.
Yeah, it says it's immunity. It's becoming clear that daily cold conditionings increase both activity and numbers of natural killer cells in your body. So going up and down or just getting cold like that, it's going to kill the natural killer cells. What are natural killer cells?
I mean, you're talking red and white blood cells, basically,
Right.
right? And white blood cells attack viruses and bacteria. Red blood cells are clotters, but so more or less whites.
the whites.
Yeah, they're your your defense system for the most part. So it might, maybe that's part of the deal. Is it increases your number of white blood cells because you're in duress, right?
Right.
Your body is feeling like you're in trouble because if you can freeze to death, right? You can have hypothermia, so the body adapts to that.
I wonder if it would send endorphins because like you're shocking yourself, like your body's like in shock. I wonder if it sends endorphins to your brains too, like
Yeah,
whoa shit,
right.
like what's going on here?
Yeah.
Sending a lot of messages. So yeah, and sure endorphins are included in all that. This is a pretty cool thing that says breast cancer patients exposed to cold water have found significantly increased disease-fighting cell counts in every category examined
Wow.
through cold showers.
Doing the cold.
Conditioning.
Right.
Huh. I did not know that.
That is interesting. I mean, again, if you look deep into it, I guess it makes sense as far as how we adapt, right? One of the things that I've learned, is your body's constantly trying to fight to get back to homeostasis, right, which is balance. So if you make it really cold, it works hard to get you back to a regular temp. If it's really hot, vice versa, right? So when we're really cold, we shiver. That's your body trying to warm you, right? When you're really hot, you sweat. That's your body trying to cool you. So, again, when all your systems kick in to try to, protect you from dying from, extreme temperatures on either end, it makes sense that it's just make everything stronger and more efficient.
Now, did you ever experience the ice tubs yourself?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately,
That's gotta
I
be
lived in the
brutal.
ice tub in college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had injuries, lower half injuries.
How long would
and
you stay in the bath for?
20.
20.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 in. 7 minutes until you're numb.
Oh man.
First 7, it feels like you're on fire. It's so cold.
The
it's
worst is
hot.
when the boys
right?
got to get in it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know, like,
Going-
getting into a lake, when you go into the lake, you're like, it's the wind of nuts hit. You're like, whoa!
Yep.
But, man, ice, that's got to be brutal.
Yeah. Pre-cell phone days.
Yeah.
So you're like either watching the clock or you had like an old Sports Illustrated to take a peek at, while you were like sitting there in the ice tub.
Shivering.
Oh.
Did you turn blue?
And then you got out and you couldn't walk because everything was literally frozen,
Yeah.
But it was every single day.
How'd you feel afterwards, though? Like, much better?
It definitely helps.
It-
you know?
yeah.
It definitely helps.
Brings down all that swelling.
Which again, when you think about what we're talking about, I mean, if it works to help injuries, it makes sense that it would work to,
Put in your daily routine.
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't want to jump in the ice tub.
So again, this one you'd be interested in. It says cold exposure is also being studied as a treatment for chronic fatigue syndrome, pain reduction, testosterone booster, and sperm enhancer, and also as an aid in white fat weight loss.
Must be what I was saying. Like,
So if you need to enhance your sperm, boom, start taking cold showers.
well, I don't want to enhance my sperm.
No.
No. Yeah.
Testosterone booster,
Yeah,
though.
testosterone. It must be what I was saying about like sending those endorphins.
Yeah.
Because like that shock value must have been, I don't know, triggers like what you were saying, like
Right.
sending it to the brain. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, CNS kicks in, right? Your central nervous system kicks in, and it goes on alert, and
Your brain's like, what the fuck's going on?
It's certainly it's sending adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
You're definitely getting turned on, quote unquote. Unfortunately for myself, I sometimes deal with anxiety, as you know, right? And
I could definitely see where you're going. On
cold
yeah.
sometimes makes me anxious when I'm extra cold.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like everything's turned on.
Right.
Well, you go into
clench
hypothermia.
up.
Right, I'm on high alert.
You get that
you know?
hypothermia type of.
So for someone who doesn't, it might be a rush. It might be a high.
Well, you get
You
that
know?
takes your breath away. Like I remember when Keeler put me in the river there and with the bubble wrap, and it was April. It was right after the snow just melted. It was cold,
Right.
and there was still snow on the ground, and that was so like I lost my breath because it was so cold. So like I can see where you get that anxiety. Like when you first get in there, that like takes your breath away.
Right.
So I could definitely see that, but it's that rush to your brain too.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it is.
It's that shock.
I don't think it's something I'm going to jump into.
No.
right
Yeah,
now,
me
but-
neither.
Literally no.
But if there's anybody out there willing to try it, hit us up on the text line.
Yeah. Or
to
someone
do
even
like
that's
a
doing
study
it.
on
Right?
that polar
Already.
bear
Might be
jump.
some people
Well,
doing
I
it.
do have a friend that's doing it. He loves it. He says his worst part of the day is in the morning, and there's nothing could be worse than taking that cold shower every day. He
Oh,
says.
don't say that
Yeah,
because your day will definitely get worse.
I know, and that would be my luck.
Yeah, see.
That would be my luck.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's all relative, technically.
Right.
Right. You could have what seems like would have been a crappy day, but if you started off awful
Right.
with this cold, awful, bitter, awful feeling, and things are not great, they don't feel as bad as that. Right. It's like the spring here. We appreciate it more because of how cold and brutal the winter is. Technically,
I
right?
get that.
So, and it might not even be that great. It's like raining all the time. Like it's better than snow. Like it's better than being cold.
But then again, like when we had the shitty summer that we had with all that rain, we're like, oh man, after all this snow, we get all this fucking rain. Like when are we gonna catch a break? So it's like all of a sudden you take this cold shower, you get out in your car, and now your car heater doesn't work, and it's like -14. You're like scraping the inside of your car trying to get to work, and you break down. And you're like, this fucking sucks. I wish I had a warm shower.
You better dry yourself very fully because your eyebrows will be frozen in. Icicles in your hair.
It gets brutal, man. Especially
yeah.
the last snowstorm that we got just over the weekend. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny because, that was last weekend, right? And last night I'm at Griffin's, and they're like, "How come you didn't come to the Christmas party?" Because they had the Christmas party last night. And I'm like, "I wasn't leaving the house. No way. I was tucked in, nice, comfortable.
Well,
I don't have to leave the house on days like this. I'm staying in."
I was
Definitely.
supposed to work last Friday, and I called in because we were supposed to have a meeting, and that got canceled. And
Yeah.
So I was just like, fuck it, I went home. And I'm so glad I did because the weather got really shitty, man. I got like freezing rain on my way home. I'm like, thank God I'm home. It was
Overnight
bad.
Friday night was bad, right?
Yeah.
Everything got canceled. Games. I know the game I had got canceled that night. And
How often you reffing?
between 3 and 4 nights a week.
You're reffing, bro?
Ref and girls basketball.
You
High
poor
school.
bastard. I fucking
glutton.
hated reffing.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
It's like
I'm
everybody
sure.
hates you when you're reffing. Like you're
Can't make everybody happy. That's for sure.
I reffed
It's
like
got to be brutal.
Luckily, in all honesty, I got it's not that bad. You get it, you hear it a little, mostly. Granted, I'm still only doing JV and girl and modified 7th and 8th grade, so
Right.
I haven't done varsity yet. Next year, I get to move up, but
Is that how it goes? You move up?
yeah, you got to work your way up, and you
Okay.
got to test up basically, and you got to sort of prove that you are capable of doing it, right, through the process. But every once in a while you get it, and I understand it. That's part of it, right? I was that coach who kind of
I was
wasn't
gonna ask you
always
about that.
good
With the
on the
refs, yeah.
sideline, and I've been a fan who's yelling at the crowd.
Right.
Not always in a high school gym, of course, but at a big time game where you're yelling at the TV, because
Ref,
you're mad
you
about
suck.
a call kind of thing.
Yeah.
So as long as it's small and short, and they're not riding me constantly, you let them blow off a little steam, and it is what it is, and you just move on, because you're missing stuff.
Oh,
You're
you're
not making every
guaranteed to
call,
miss shit.
You
Like,
know?
You're
Absolutely.
human.
Right. And you are missing stuff. I think a couple weeks ago, I felt like I officiated the best game that I have in 4 years, and I know I missed one call, but I felt confident about the rest. Because often, my rule of thumb is I'm not calling it if I don't see it, right? Like, because stuff happens sort of when the girl's back is turned to you, and she may have hit her in the hand or may have hit her in the arm. If I didn't see it, I'm not calling it. I'm not giving you phantom stuff.
right.
And the people in the crowd or the coach where they're standing could have seen it better. It is what it is, right? Both myself and my partner might not have. And I kind of did see this travel, and it would happen so fast. It was like an awkward move by the girl. She hopped on one foot instead of going right, left, and up for the layup. She went right, right.
Oh.
And that's technically a travel, right? And, you know, of course, luckily it didn't go in. And luckily, after
team
they
rebounded.
scrambled for the ball and went out of bounds, and the other team took over, so it was no
Non-factor.
skin, right? It was, you know. But as I was thinking about it all night, and I asked my partner after the game, even too, I said, "That's travel," and he said, "Yeah, it is." And I was like, you know. But again, otherwise, you know, sometimes you feel like, you know, you missed a few, for sure. You know, if officials are like me, which, you know, hopefully they are, they want to be good, they want to be, you know, perfect if possible. You know, when you miss one, it bothers you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, don't think it doesn't bother us if we miss one. But you also got to be human. My biggest issue with officials through the years was when I would say, "Hey, Mr. Official, can you do me a favor? Can you watch that guy? He's holding my defensive end every time they run a sweep." And he would say, "He's not holding him, coach. I am watching him." And I would say, "What?
You're obviously not.
I'm watching him too. He is holding him. I wouldn't have said it if he wasn't."
Uh-huh.
What are you talking about? You know, and I turn around and I say, "All right, coach, I might have missed it. I'll give it a watch," you know, kind of a thing. When they ask me, "Hey, you know, can you watch for this or watch for that?" You know, you're human. Hey, I might have missed it. All right, I'll keep an eye out for you. And they can't really argue anymore. You know, you already just told them, you know.
See, when I reffed flag football, oh my God, like you're constantly getting yelled at. So I make a call, right?
Yeah.
And
Adult
these guys,
league is the worst.
and these guys are yelling at me, right? And he's like, "Dude, he was holding." I'm like, "I just fucking called it. Relax. I called the penalty." You know what I mean? Like, chill out. You're yelling at me, and I called the penalty. Like, and like, no matter what you called, and then the other team starts yelling at you. And like, no matter what you do, you could be dead as, you know, right as day, and they're still gonna argue and fight their case. And these guys, they will sit there and plead their case till no end, over and over, and they'll just jaw in your ear over and over. And then you wonder why these refs get so pissed off and they throw them flags and stuff like that.
Right.
Because they just draw on them. And if you can imagine like a TO or somebody like that just jawing on a ref all day long, or, you know, some of these basketball players you see, you know, it's got to wear thin. I don't have the
You got to have thick skin.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah.
And that's a learned thing even too. Either, I mean, you have it a little, I imagine, or you don't, right? It's kind of a, but you learn it too. You learn to just sort of let it go when you hear it.
And I imagine in the like women's basketball, is probably the egos aren't as heightened as you get in some of the, you know, some of the male sports. You know, some of these guys are just like way too egotistical. You know what I mean? They think they're all going to be on Sports Center.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, I've been lucky for the most part. Both the coaches in the area and the fans, for the most part, again, have been good. You
Yeah.
know, and they question stuff, and they're going to say stuff here and there.
I
And
think when you get to the next level, though, it gets a little more intense.
it'll
Yeah.
definitely get more intense,
Yeah.
and it'll, you know, of course, you know, as you know, if you get up to the college level, we got guys around here that do college, and they're very good officials, and I'm sure they, you know, depending on what level of college, they might hear it more. Now, you know, MV might not get as many fans as say Proctor. Who know? I'm not really sure. I don't know what kind of
I would think
fan
Proctor would
support,
get more.
you know, like
Definitely.
an MV gets, or a UC, you know, women's basketball gets, or whatever it is, you know, like D3 or the local schools. But you know, you get to a good Proctor against Rome basketball game. And I just did that one, and the JV game had 80, 90, almost 100 people in the stands.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, for 14 and 15-year-old girls running up and down the court, and that was the one I was talking about. It was intense, and I felt good about it going out because I think I only blew one. It didn't really affect the game, you know.
Especially a big rivalry like that, too.
It was good,
Yeah.
you know, when you get the New Hartford Whitesboro games. So well, I'll be honest with you, I do girls soccer too, and boys soccer too. I started doing that 4 years ago too, and one of the best games I get almost every year is the modified New Hartford Whitesboro girls soccer game. It's intense, and the parents on the hill over at Perry, oh boy, you know, I learned my lesson my first year is you get to choose your side in one or the other.
Oh boy.
So I always go to the parent side during the first half now because they're a little less upset when the game is in early stages. And then you go and you get to run away from them because they ride you like no end. And you want to turn around and say, listen, They're like 13-year-old kids. This isn't the World Cup.
We got to figure in the beginning of the game they're sucking your, hey, hey ref, how you doing? Good game today. Let's have a good game. And then by the end of the game, like, you suck. I know where you drive.
Well, then you got to walk through them to go to the parking lot too, which is kind of interesting sometimes.
Just kind of put your head down and go, right?
Yeah, this
Put
year
blinders on.
Actually, this year I did have a parent on the way out. He told us we should never referee again. Leaving the New Hartford, it was New Hartford Proctor JV boys. You should never referee another game again.
And I would be like, you should never procreate again.
See, I have a huge issue with the NBA.
You should get a vasectomy.
I have a huge issue with the NBA and the NFL refs right now, and even boxing referees. Like, well, mostly the boxing judges, but like, I just feel like a lot of missed calls, a lot of bad, questionable calls, especially this whole "is it a catch, is it not a catch" thing, and with the
Instant replays ruin football.
instant
in
replay.
a lot
but
of ways, I think it has.
Yeah.
Right, they're less decisive.
less
right? They're not-
decisive, but like now we're nitpicking, and I keep going back to
Not just football, but all sports,
Right.
In a way.
And I feel like-
it works. It's a great tool and all, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. And I feel like
you have that Jesse James catch against or the non-catch against New England.
No.
And then the one that I'm still pissed about is the Zach Miller. I don't know if you've seen that one. Zach Miller for the Bears caught against New Orleans, caught the touchdown, almost lost his leg on the play.
Yeah.
And at no point do you see the ball hit the ground. Like, it's a complete touchdown. And like, to me, it's like, if you're a referee, if I'm a referee and I say, okay, look at this play, it's touchdown. Nobody on the New Orleans side is going to challenge this. Nobody's going to say and be like, I don't. They're not going to dispute it. If you call it a touchdown, everybody's fine with it. No, nothing said. They turned it. They called it a touchdown on the field. I didn't think there was anything to dispute it for. They turned it back and said non-catch. Now you go through this whole investigation. Now there's this whole like controversy over it. You create this whole big thing for the next 2-3 weeks. Is it a catch? Is it not a catch? Like, what were you thinking? Like, to me, it's like, guys, do yourself a favor and like, just call it a catch. Why are you nitpicking that? Like, oh, it looked like it rolled here, maybe, but there was nothing that signified. It was beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was, that you can overturn it. And to me, it's like, now you call these players, you put them on a podium, you ask them questions. I feel like that referee that made that call should have been held accountable. You should have put him on a podium and said, hey, what were you thinking? Why did you make this call? What made you decide that this is undisputable evidence?
Well, at least the people that were in New York who did overturn it anyway, right? Because the guys on the field, technically in your eyes, got it right. So you wouldn't even have to ask the refs. And if it's a scoring play in the NFL, it's going to New York and getting
Right.
reviewed no matter what.
And it was
so
like
it's
a
not
huge, it was a huge dispute, and
Right.
like you didn't get the actual explanation until like 2-3 days later, and you heard this like weird, fucked up spin, and it's like kind of basically saving their ass,
Right.
And it's like, man, if you guys just called the play a touchdown, nobody disputes it. There's no problems. You know what I mean? It's no controversy. Nobody's disputing it. Even New Orleans wouldn't dispute it. So to me, it's like you're nitpicking for nothing. You're finding something to create controversy over.
Yeah, that's the media.
And you know what it also starts it from too, I think, is the rules committees, right? You got these games that we have started years and years ago, right? I mean, when was basketball invented, or when was football invented? We're talking hundreds of years, at least 100.
Yeah,
and then
1900s
some,
and
right?
1800s.
And Dr. Naismith nailed a couple peach baskets to the wall, and you played basketball, and there were certain rules. Now, granted, times have changed. It's not a peach basket on the wall anymore, and certain things have been, added. Humans have become bigger, faster, can jump higher, and all these kinds of things, right? But every year there are rules changes to the games that sometimes I question in the first place.
Right.
Like a catch, for instance, in football. A catch used to be a catch.
Right.
If you caught the damn ball. You know what I'm saying? It was a catch. You know what I mean?
Right.
There wasn't, it's only a catch if you keep control of it through the ground. Like, how the hell is it not a catch?
Right.
If I catch it inbounds with 2 feet, and then you knock me out, and then the ground out of bounds causes me to lose control. How's that not a catch anymore?
Right.
You got to hold on to it forever? Until when? Until, you go to, when can you let go?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense
It
that they've made these new subtle changes to the rules that make it more difficult.
And if you watch that catch, he catches it, rolls over,
Yeah.
and then puts the ball on the ground to get back up and realizes his leg's busted and falls back onto the ground. And they said that's how he lost. I'm like, these people gotta let up. But then you get these guys that as soon as they catch a first down, they catch it and they just drop it, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think you
get
got to
it.
go back a little bit and, on my feeling about sports in general, and now as an official, I like black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's not a lot. There's going to be judgment no matter what, technically, right?
And if you hit a guy hard, now it's
The
also
less
like a
judgment
penalty.
you can have, the better off you are, because the more you have to use your judgment, the more often it's going to seem like you're favoring one side or the other,
Right.
Because you're judging.
And there is favoritism,
Like this,
and you definitely
you
see
know?
it. You see it with Brady, you see it with Rodgers, you see it with LeBron, you see it with Chris
stars.
Paul and some of these
Yeah.
guys that they get all these calls. They get the favorable calls.
And when you're talking about from a business model, technically it makes sense, right? You want to protect your stars. You want your stars to be on the court. You don't want LeBron fouled out at the end of a game.
No, but
right? You
LeBron's
don't
good
want-
enough to not have the refs
Hi, buddy.
win the game
But
for him.
we're talking now we're talking about a business impacting the outcome of a game technically.
But
if he fouls out, he should foul out.
Right,
technically.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like,
If
when you
hit
get-
the guy 6 times and you get your 6 fouls, get the hell out. That's the rule.
Right,
you know?
last
But-
year in the championship game in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you got a guy like Isaiah Thomas, who's 6'1", bumps into LeBron, and he goes flying backwards. Who's 6'9", built like a shit brick house, and he goes flying backwards,
Right.
and dude, you're flopping. You run through dudes. You know what I mean? You barrel over people. Now this little tiny dude nicks you and you go flying over. Come on.
I know.
Back in the day, back in the early 80s and 90s, when you had guys flying down the court, they didn't do that shit, man. They hit
Well, they flopped a little bit. They
Not
did.
to,
There were some floppers.
Yeah, there's
Lambeer
flops.
was a big flopper, wasn't he?
Right.
Remember him? He was,
Vlad
Yeah, but he was a
Divac.
tough son of a bitch.
He was tough
though.
too. Yeah.
But
Vladdy's the one that really brought it to prominence.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, you're right.
You know,
He did.
but back, I mean,
He made it an art.
There was a few.
those
of them
Detroit
like that.
Pistons, man, those were tough dudes, man. Those
Oh,
guys
yeah.
are battles.
Oh yeah.
The Knicks and the Heat, man, those guys used to battle out all the time. Yeah, I just remember Van Gundy biting Grandmama's leg.
Talk about floppers. You just, some of the kings of flop are World Cup soccer guys, right?
Yeah.
They get a little nick, they get tripped kind of, and they want to sell it. So they lay there like they're dead. Oh, my leg, and
Like
then
they're
it's
pro wrestling.
Right, and it's magically they're okay. You
Yeah.
know, they bring out the stretcher, they drag him off like he's dead, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm fine,
I'm good. I'm good.
Put me back in."
I hate that flopping
Yeah,
because
the concept is doesn't
you're taking the physicality out of the game, and I get it. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the foul and whatever, but it's man, stop being a pussy. Play the game. Play the
Yeah.
game the right way. Guys like Charles Barkley and those guys and Shaq and those guys used to body up
Yeah.
morning.
They're
You know,
tough dudes, man.
That's
Yeah.
how basketball was supposed to be played. Don't flop.
Willie Beach checking in on the text line. He says that's why he prefers college sports over professional sports. More heart, passion, and excitement.
Yeah,
I love professional playoffs, though. Because that's when it really starts to
I do.
matter and stuff like that. I mean, these pro sports, these seasons are long. Baseball, 162 games, that's long.
it's a long.
I
season.
always said baseball should cut it in half.
Not cut it in half, but at least cut it maybe 100 games or something like that. Like,
you
you
figure
maybe some off.
One, yeah.
Because you really
140
can't get
something.
them off. If you cut it in half, you really can't get all the games in there, really, because you do have to get through these rivalries, and especially in your
Yeah,
divisions.
but there's
and
so.
stuff.
I mean, what do you? 162 games. I mean,
It's a long season. for
basketball
sure.
is 82 games, and there's it seems like there's a basketball game on every freaking night.
Right, basketball and hockey, they pretty much have the same schedule, 82,
Right.
82 games in the regular season. But basketball and hockey both, when you go through playoffs, if you're going to the championships of the Stanley Cup or the NBA championships, you're going playing all the way till the middle of June, and you started in September, October. That's a long freaking season.
Definitely.
It's super long. And I was just watching some things with the Yankees too today. Didi Gregorius and Giancarlo Stanton. Sorry, not Mike Stanton anymore. Giancarlo Stanton working out. it's something like the season never ends. They just keep going and going. And
Right.
Stan's a beast.
Is
Yeah.
he?
Oh my God, you gotta see him
He's gonna
work
be
out. He's
great.
ridiculous.
I think if you shorten the games, that the rivalries become more. You know what I mean? They mean more.
True.
You know what I mean? Because like now it's like, okay, so like the Red Sox destroy the Yankees today, and then tomorrow Yankees
They
beat
play
them.
him, what, 19 times?
19
Right.
times a
Yeah.
season. You play your division 19
That's just
times.
way too much.
Yeah.
You can't like all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we just destroyed you, and then like the next day you get your ass kicked.
What if
And
they
it's like-
shorten it to 11? You're like 11 games for a division.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because a business model, supply and demand, if you supply them less, the demand might go up.
Right.
If there's less games to go to, then more people might come to the ones you have.
Exactly. Fill
Technically.
the seats. And
Because the other way around is what they're thinking is the more games we have, the more people we get, the more money we can make. And again, it's about the money. Right? It's business.
but that's more staffing you got to
Yeah.
put, and it's less people going to each games because like if you don't go to this game today, you go to the game tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just feel like less games, you'll have more people at the stands because, like you said, supply and demand.
That makes sense. And I agree with your listener there. I'm a college. Notre Dame's my team, and
You're a fanatic.
They're my team. And the Giants are my second favorite football team to Notre Dame. So my Saturdays are I'm watching my Notre Dame fighting Irish. Win or lose, whatever. And I agree. Part of it, I think, is because of the. These kids are fighting and playing hard. And don't get me wrong, working over at Tony's the last couple of years, and you have an opportunity to see Sunday games, all of them on at the same time. I don't know where everybody thinks that these guys aren't hitting each other anymore. That the game has changed. They're killing each other still.
It's not though.
They're getting called for it.
They're getting called for it.
But they're still killing each other.
But back in the day,
I mean,
like-
watch them all. Don't just watch the one that they show you on Fox.
No,
Right? I'm talking about.
I get the
I'm-
Sunday ticket. I got two games
There's
going at
times
once.
I'm watching and I'm like, whoa! And you see the hit happens over here, and then this guy's killing a guy on this game. And maybe it's hit and miss. It used to be more hitting every game, right? But I think listen, it's a whole nother argument, I guess. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster, and again, these guys, you want your best players to stay in the game. I understand why they're trying to pull back a little bit on the, try not to kill.
But
our
there's certain
quarterback
scenarios where, like,
anymore.
the guy's getting tackled and he turns, another guy's coming full speed. He's aimed without the head, but because the guy gets
Sure.
turned, now it's a head-on collision.
Well, and I think those things should be taken into consideration.
and they're
like
not.
a guy ducking
Right.
should not be head to head either.
Right, the guy
When a
with the
runner
ball-
ducks into
Exactly.
the
He
hit.
ducks into the hit. Now the guy.
that should take it right out.
Exactly.
Because he wasn't aiming. He was aiming for his chest, and you duck, and now you're head to head.
And I see these guys. They're coming down for a hit, and now instead of just running through the hit like you're supposed to, they're like breaking down because they're nervous about laying that big hit and getting a penalty. And I think it takes a lot of that instinct out of the game. And I wish they wouldn't. I mean, with the technology we got today and training, Seattle has a great program for tackling, and I wish more teams would adopt that. And I think tackling in general is fucking terrible, and that's got to start in the college programs because I mean it carries over in the NFL. These people don't know how to wrap up, and we've seen that in that Minnesota game against New Orleans. I mean that kid, all he had to do throws a Hail Mary at the end of the game. There's no time left. All you got to do is just hold the guy. You catch him and you hold him, but he goes in there, tries laying that big hit, and he completely whiffs, and gets scored on.
I thought it appeared to me in that one myself that he felt suddenly he was there early, right? So to avoid the pass interference, he ducked out of the way, But then again, hindsight's 20/20. If you're really in that position, wait behind the guy, let him catch it, tackle him in bounds.
Just hold him. You had a whole crew of people there. Just
You
hold
misjudge
him.
the situation, and then it looks awful when you watch it, especially like slow motion, and people slowed it down, and the guy's like completely avoiding, and then the kid runs down the sideline.
The rule number one is don't let him get behind you.
Right.
Don't let the guy get
And
behind
he was
you.
in great position until he ran by him, kind of.
Just let him catch the ball and hold
You
him.
know?
As soon as he comes down, wrap him up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, I'm old school, of course. We talked when I was on the D-line, speaking about football in general, right? That day, we were taught to tackle with our faces.
Right.
when I was in high school.
With
and
your
as a
face?
kid.
Put your face right in your
Yeah.
chest. Yeah.
You put your face into them, which is, you're not leading with the crown. You never want to dip your nose, right? Rules were you want to put your face on the ball or into their chest.
Right.
Now, the new tackling might actually be impacting their ability to tackle technically, because now it's shoulder arm, right? And they're teaching get the head completely out of it, shoulder and arm in there. And now again, you're trying to tackle a guy who's, a big dude who can run fast and is strong as hell with your shoulder and arm. You can't put your face in his chest anymore.
Right.
You
got a
So-
Gronkowski. Attacking Gronkowski.
It's limited their ability to tackle the way we used to.
And
too,
and you
know?
can't tackle high, you can't tackle too low, you
Right.
can't tackle a horse collar. It's like, where do you tackle?
Yeah.
And when you got a guy like Gronkowski, or you got a Ben Roethlisberger who's bigger than shit, man. That guy's what, 6'6", 260 something pounds, and you got a DB who's like, 5'7", 6 foot maybe, like $175, trying to tackle his ass. That's tough.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a tough call.
Well, bring you back to like the slide rule even for the Q. What an interesting situation to be in as a defensive player. The quarterback's running with the ball, and they're running and they're running and they're running, and you're approaching him, and all of a sudden he slides.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you? If you hit
You're
him at all
midair,
at that
yeah.
point, it's a penalty supposedly,
Yep.
right? So like. And again, I get it. The quarterbacks are the stars of the league and the money, and it's a business and all of those kinds of things. But at the same time, like, man, it's like tying your hands on defense in a lot
Exactly.
of ways. And they've been doing that for years, tying defense's hands.
Because they want more scoring and
right,
stuff.
You used to be able to, hit the guy as a coverage guy until the ball was thrown. Like they still can in college, right? It's not interference if you are bodying a guy until the ball's thrown. There's not a 5-yard rule. Right, so in the pros, they said, you can only hit him within 5 yards, and then it's interference or holding or whatever you want to call it, right? And that's an offensive rule. And I find it interesting, and if I talked about this with you too, offense rules the game. It dictates the pace of the game. You watch these games this weekend. If it's close, right, and the team that's losing has the ball, the referees will run around like chickens without heads to set the ball, to give them a chance to snap it again to get another playoff. Flip it the other way around. If the team that's winning has the ball and they want to burn clock, the referees mosey on over and they set the ball as slow as they can, and they help the offense slow the game down.
You're right.
And I'm an offensive guy most of the time. But I remember as a head coach numerous times, or even like, just being an assistant on the sideline, I said, what the hell is going on? Being on the flip side of it, you're playing defense and you want the ball back. You're like, set the ball. Put the ball down, set the ball, and get the darn play clock going while you're walking around. We need the ball back. And the advantage goes to the offense, even in the pace of the game in football, which is so interesting to me. Why? Just officiate the game at the same tempo, which means quickly.
Right.
Set the ball at a good pace. I'm not talking about run around like a nut or walk. How about somewhere in the middle? And that's just the pace of the game we're going to play.
And
at,
it's the Goodell effect. I think that's where Goodell ruined the game.
It.
And he's trying to make it make it splashier and more scoring. And I think people miss the defensive battles.
Yeah.
I like good defensive battles. The guys like Urlacher, Ray Lewis, and Lawrence Taylor, and those were always my favorite players, with the defensive players. And I just feel like now we're getting to we're trying to push more offense. And like you said, I like the idea of the college rules where you can actually battle it out a little more. I mean, these guys are 6'7", these wide receivers. They fly like the wind. They're huge. These guys they're gigantic. And they're going against these small DBs. Like I said, they're 6 foot if you're like for a tall one. I mean,
Right.
And
6'1" if you're a tall corner.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's hard to be physical with them because you're going to get a penalty.
Yeah.
So now these guys are running scared. And I just feel like I wish they could be a little more even. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And the refs call like a fair game.
Yeah, I mean, the game should be, set up for, the best team to win, not the best offense.
Right. I don't mind my team losing if they lose to the better team.
Right.
If it's the refs decide the game, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
All right, save the football talk for the D-line.
I mean, but one question: Who goes the Giants coach?
Who's it gonna be?
Yeah.
I hear that. Aren't they saying the Vikings?
I have no idea.
But there's
Schaub.
there is rumor though that Belichick might be interested.
I saw that too.
That would
somewhere.
be sick.
Yeah.
That would be
Going
really
back to his roots.
Yeah, it'd be cool to
That
get him
would be-
back.
yeah.
And you know what? He's got Eli Manning there. Eli would stay. I guarantee Eli would stay, and so would Odell. I think he would stay. They would make a definitely great run at it, and then he would groom somebody else there. I think they would be a dynasty. I think he would create a new dynasty there.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Josh, you've been on all aspects of sports, man. You've been the coach, you've been the athlete,
Yeah.
you've been the referee.
Yeah.
You ever been the PA announcer?
I don't think I've ever announced a game. I've been the scoreboard operator and the
Scoreboard,
bookkeeper and
yeah.
all of those kinds of things. I did once get thrown out of a high school girls basketball game as the bookkeeper
What?
back in the day.
How'd you get thrown out?
Way back in the day, like high school
No,
back in
when
the
I
day? or-
first graduated from college and I was coaching and substitute teaching at my old high school, and I was full of it still, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was the county championship game, the sectional finals, and the lady who was doing the other team's book kind of got under my skin. Also, she had her little lion on the table. They were the Lions. Of course, you know, what happened ultimately was this game was very intense. It was, you know, huge crowd, sectional final game. And, you know, throughout the game there were questionable calls both ways probably, right? But they had a girl who was really good who was going D1, but she traveled like every time she caught the ball. You know, she was a big, tall player and would move both feet to make a move.
Kind of like Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, instead of like having a pivot foot, she would shuffle her feet and toast. You know, she scored like 36 points in the game. So I was like not happy about that. It's needless to say, long story short, you know I love that term. Both of you guys have heard that from me most times. It comes down to, I want to say it was a 2-point game, right? The other team has the ball. Shot clock's running down. The girl drives the lane toward the end of the game. Our girl steps in to take the charge. You know, hits the girl pretty good, so they call it bang, intentional. Meanwhile, she just stepped up like this, and because she was bigger than the other girl went flying. Intentional means you get 2 and the ball back.
Right.
Game over. There was like, 11 seconds left in the game. Right? So when the guy came over to the table, I said under my breath, I leaned back in my chair. You got to let the kids decide this game. You can't decide the game like that. And he goes, "What did you say?" And I looked at him in the face. I said, "You heard what I just said."
Good. I'm glad
And he goes, "Say another word and you're out of here." I said, "You're going to throw me out of here? I'm the book guy." And he says, "You're out of here." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You better get going or I'm going to throw 2 more technical fouls because you're like an official as the book guy." So, of course, I got up and I left to a standing O to our home crowd. Because I was a Sachem guy, and a lot of people knew who I was still. And they didn't know why I got thrown out of the game just yet.
That was your last standing O at Sachem?
It was my last one. There was 11 seconds left in the game. They did one of these as I was leaving.
That's
The
great.
place is going crazy. I got thrown out of a game as the bookkeeper.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're probably the only bookkeeper to ever be thrown out.
That's
of the game.
hilarious. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Because I know you got to get out of here in a few minutes. I want to switch it up really quick. You see the Ronnie James Dio hologram out on the road right now?
Yeah.
They're in Europe right now, but they are coming to the States.
I want to do it, man.
Yeah, I would love to check that out too.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And
So what
it's-
I think they're doing is Ripper Owens sings a couple, and then they do the hologram, and they kind of goes like back and forth. I think there's another vocalist on the tour as well. I'm not really 100% sure, but
Yeah, Dio's Disciples, right? They're called
something like
I
that.
think.
Yeah.
And it's what's his name? Craig Goldie, who played with Dio. Time to Burn era, right after Vivian.
Okay.
Right, he's one of the guitarists. So it's an all-star band too.
Yeah.
Boy, Dio's been talked about a lot this week.
I know. Him and Grace Potter.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. Oh, Grace.
Yeah.
I like Grace.
Dio's been talked about almost every day this week, I think.
So is
She's
Grace
awesome.
So
Potter.
is Grace Potter, yeah, exactly. And Mojo. I think
We do bring you up a lot.
That's great.
we had
man.
a lot of
I
Mojo
appreciate
wisdoms.
that.
Well, the thing is, we want to give you your own show.
Yeah.
Relationship advice.
Yeah.
Couch sessions.
You could be like the Long Island male Delilah.
But we feel we got to find you like a female co-host or something.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
All right.
You know, and we are getting that bar up in here. You know, we could do like the coach's corner or something. I don't know. We got I think it would be good, man. I think
I
it would
think
be fun.
so too. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would be. I'm interested. Yeah, let's do something. That'd be a lot of
Like,
fun.
you got a great perspective, man. Like, you and I have
Absolutely.
talked many years. You know, just sitting there shooting the shit, and the crazy kitty fund, and
Crazy kitty.
you know.
Well, I've mentioned too before. I mean, you've been a life coach to me for many times, for years, and helped me out on so much shit.
Coined a
There's been so much
phrase,
Thank
fucked
you.
up in this.
Yeah.
Likewise to both of you. Likewise. You
But-
helped me out a lot of times when my life was in disarray too.
There's times I'm like, I'll even today I'll be dealing with something like a female thing, and I'm like, what would Mojo do? You know, like, and I like just a little bit of like, oh, shit, yeah, he was right, and like it took years for me to actually understand what the fuck you were talking about.
Could that be the name of the show?
What would Mojo do?
People call in. Well, listen.
WWMJD.
This is what I did when that happened.
WWMJD. What would Mojo do? That could be something.
It'd be interesting to do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Even
a
still
little
to this
call-in
day,
show.
I got a problem. I'm like, all right, come on, Johnson, come stopping over, or let's go golfing.
Yeah. Golf is always a great
Golfing
release.
is our session. Like, we get together. We play, of course, but it's more of a not event session, but just kind of more catch up. Or what do you think of this? What do you think of that? So
Yeah.
I treasure those moments with you, brother.
There's been a couple times,
Yeah.
though, that by like the 6th or 7th hole, you're like, enough.
No, right.
Hence the crazy kitty fund.
But she won't call me back. All right. Will you just tee off?
Can you believe it?
But I love those moments, though. I do. It's like, you get to hang out and talk and bullshit and play golf. Golf is the bonus.
Yeah,
really.
absolutely.
Golf is
Definitely.
the bonus. Do another Choke Slam show. What do you think? We gonna get those other
I
idiots
want to.
rolling or what?
I want to. I think then we have them kind of, I thought you were the one actually the last time. We had everybody almost on board and you were like, nah.
Wait, when did I? Yeah, maybe because of my schedule. It's been
Yeah.
So
I mean, if
hectic,
something's
so.
opening up, I think everybody, I know, Griff's usually the most difficult,
Yeah, Dallas.
followed by Dallas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
And then you got Paulie's in Worcester, Massachusetts. So
yeah.
that's the kind of kicker right there, bro.
Well, he's in, though. We were talking about maybe,
Try to do
doing
something.
doing 2 of them to make it worthwhile, and doing the, I got my buddy who's got that place down in New York City. The I'm gonna be blanking on the place right now.
Down on Long Island or
Down in right in New York City.
Oh, in Manhattan?
Yeah.
Maybe you guys could play Longwood's pool party.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be sick.
Oh, I got to tell you about the last pool party we played.
Oh, the one at
Yeah, Long Island.
Thompson's.
That was a wild time.
yeah,
Good time.
Thompson's house is pretty sick. And
And the
maybe we
guy in the
could-
middle of Long Island, he's got a chicken coop. He's got a sauna, a jacuzzi, heated pool. There's chickens running all over the place, and just it was like we're in the middle of Long Island. Crazy.
definitely interesting
It was.
to say the least. But yeah, I'm totally into it, man. Let's do it.
I would love
Cool,
to,
man.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I would.
We'll have to work something out, man, because I think they'll go over really, really well. I think you'd be great at it.
Yeah,
I think you would, man.
Oh, you mean his
on
thing?
both
Yeah.
ends. Though,
Oh,
yeah.
both ends.
I
yes.
think a choke slam too, but
I was thinking the show.
The Johnson thing.
that'd be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I know you got to get out of here.
All right,
brother.
boys.
Much love to you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a break right now.
Love you guys too, man.
We'll see you in a minute.
Thank
TC
you.
Radio.
Thank you for calling the EC Radio Attitude Adjustment Line. Press 1 if you need a good slap in the mouth. Press 2 if you need a stern verbal lashing. Press 3 if you need a timeout. Press 4 to respond to the voices in your head. Press 5 if you need to talk to your mom. And if this is an actual emergency, please hang up and call someone who gives a shit.
Play some local music from Modus right there, Lemmings. I love that CD. It's called Only the Sleeping Will Know. It's Z Chicken. We're hanging, and Sam joined us. This, Sam, how can you go walking your dog and not stop in?
I didn't see your truck.
It was
Hang on, I'm still trying to put these on my ears so I can hear what the fuck I'm saying.
yeah.
Okay.
She's walking her dog. She
There we
lives in
go.
she lives in a
I
neighborhood.
know. We looked and we're like, I'm like, Booty. Oh, that's Sam.
Do you know how many times people have done that?
Yeah.
I imagine a lot.
Your booty is famous.
Oh, it's just that bitch.
She's walking by. I was gonna pop my head in and let you know the dog shit on your sidewalk, but
I encourage her. I'm like, you know what? This is prime real estate right here. Get it out.
I'm gonna go shit on your sidewalk.
That's fine.
yeah. See, we park over in the parking lot now, so
You moved up.
yeah, we moved up. We actually now you see the whole new studio setup. and
Yeah, it's
everything.
great.
Thanks. It looks good. We kicked everybody out of their
Yep.
spaces around here. The landlord hates us. The neighbors hate us.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah.
I think that means
Not
means
the
you're-
landlord. We love the
Oh, my
landlord.
dog is scooting her ass on your carpet right now.
Okay.
We disrupted
got worms.
everything.
Yes.
Does she got worms?
Did you see it? No, don't say it. I don't know.
Then,
Is that what that means?
sometimes, yeah.
Fuck you.
I'm serious.
No way.
They do it. They got an itch, or they got like.
Yeah,
she
probably
might-
just itch.
She might have like dog scabies or something.
No way.
Yeah, when they itch,
Look at her. She's healthy,
she's
clean.
cute. She is.
Well, now we got a
I
poop
like-
stain on the new.
I
yard.
Yeah, her
actually-
butt itched.
I like your dog more than I like you.
Oh.
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair. She's a great dog.
she is. She's awesome.
And if she wants to itch her ass in your studio,
She can.
Yeah.
but she's got something.
no, fuck you.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but she can lick her own butt.
Isn't that what dogs do?
Yeah.
Don't they itch their like? Isn't that a normal thing?
Yeah.
It is, but it's also a sign that there's an ailment. Yeah, she's cute, right? I like Sunny. She's a cute doggy.
Sunny.
If she could stay still, we'll put her on camera.
Sunny and her
don't think she
itchy,
can stay
and her
still.
itchy ass.
Was her name Sunny, or did you name her Sunny?
I named her
Because
Sunny.
you found her.
Yeah.
Right. You
Yep.
found her like on the side of the road or something.
I did. Yeah, I found her on the side of the road. That's her crying.
She's doing the butt scratch. Yep, you do got worms.
What is that? She never does that at my house.
No.
No.
She wants to leave her DNA all over the place.
Yeah, she's like her mother. I've already rubbed my ass all over the studio.
You did? Where was I for that one? How did I miss that one? Sam, I got to tell you, I was bartending last night, and I made an attempt at doing the twerking flip cup.
How'd you do?
Actually, I didn't do too bad. Mike Moran, our friend Mike Moran,
Oh, Mike.
he actually has a video of it. I didn't nail it.
I don't
though.
want to see it.
No.
I will tell you that men tend to do better on their first and second shot than women do. I think because like women try to make it sexy, they bend over and they try to like really arch their back too far and it doesn't work. Guys just like bend right in half and do this like
Pop.
really robotic pop and it works. Yeah, it does.
But I've noticed if they're watching the videos of the twerking flip cup thing, these girls are using their ass as like a backboard.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
they pop the cup up in the air, it goes kind of straight up in the air, and then they do the little
Hit it.
twerk,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a backboard. And
Yeah.
whether it stands or not is have you tried it? You've tried it before,
Yeah,
right?
me and Deb both did it.
Uh-huh.
I got hammered a couple weeks ago, and I was in a onesie, like a cheetah print or tiger something onesie, and there was a few people there, and we were talking about doing it. I'd never done it before, and I came really close, but I had the onesie on, so the fabric was like fucking up my land, so I ended up peeling the onesie off like down to my knees and flipping a cup on my ass butt naked. Because it was the only, I was like, I've got to do this, fuck this, and I just peeled it down.
How many attempts?
And I think it was my second one after I got naked that I
Video
did.
or didn't happen.
Yeah, there's no video, unfortunately.
So you made all these attempts, and the only time you did it was when you were naked. So
Yeah.
it's better to take off all your clothes to do this thing then.
Totally.
All right,
And-
reenactment in studio.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
We got to do it. And then you can see her tattoo that she has on her ass.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
She has a tattoo on her ass. I'm serious.
I
Hey,
do.
hey. Be nice. See the dog.
she's
See we got the guard dog. Malcolm's in the house with us. That's Sunny. Yeah, we got a doggy, a dog mascot.
Mascot, yeah.
For EC Radio. I love it, man. I love it. How you doing, Malcolm? Good to see you. This is
How you doing?
Sam
I'm Chicken.
and Chicken.
Hi, I'm Sam. Nice to meet you.
We're sitting here chilling. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Thanks
too.
for coming. We're talking about, have you seen this whole new trend online about the twerking flip cup thing?
No, I haven't.
Sam's actually an expert at it.
Yeah, that's not true. I landed it one time. I put a cup on my ass naked, and I flipped it, and it landed. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm new to this. I had no clue about this.
That's what I'm saying. We got to
It's
reenact it
phenomenal.
live in studio, I think,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that would be appropriate.
Maybe a little Two Live Crew in the back. You know?
Yeah.
Sean Raz is checking in on the text line. He says, imagine that, a girl from Utica hammered and naked. True story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guilty and proud.
But I want to see more people do this twerking flip cup thing.
I went to a party in Ithaca like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't know there was a line of guys that I didn't know, and I had them literally lined up like one by one, bending over and trying to flip a cup on their ass.
Hell no.
And there,
I don't want to see dudes doing it.
I do because it makes me feel powerful and it does a little something for me. But there was a few people that resisted it, and I was like, shh.
See, I have no butt.
Bend 'em right
I
up.
can't do it.
I don't have a
zero
butt either.
You don't-
I made the attempt last night,
I
though.
do think having a big butt helps, but you technically don't have to have a butt.
I look like a frog in pants.
You're a
I think
real,
you should-
you're a real white boy.
Yeah, bad. I think you should get this going at the party.
Oh, done.
Let's do it.
You'll do it at the anniversary
That's-
party?
Yeah, that's like one of my things lately. I can't help it. Every time I have a couple drinks, I want to either put a cup on my ass or somebody else's.
Uh-huh.
I can't help it.
We got to do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, we're definitely going to do it.
Because, with the people that are going to be at this party, we're going to get some
Yeah. Just make sure you
Volunteers.
have solo cups there. 'Cause that's what you need.
done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's this party at?
January 27th
Oh,
at
now he's
Cavallo's.
interested. Now he's fucking interested.
Well,
Yeah.
the whole
Oh
East
my
Beach and
God.
Biz crew will be there. Joe Driscoll. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, we're getting food and games now. We're going to have a twerking flip cup game.
Yep.
We could probably charge admission for the twerking flip cup thing. Actually, charge $1 or $2 and donate it to charity.
That sounds great.
You know?
That sounds about right.
You could do the twerking flip cup for charity.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that.
It's all going down next Saturday, believe it or
Yes,
not.
sir.
It's coming up quick, man. Our 1-year anniversgive party here at the D.
That's
Sam,
awesome.
and Sam, thanks for everything that you do for us on the D,
course.
man. That voice,
The voice of the D.
the voice makes the D, baby.
Give me the D.
See, I
Yeah,
love it.
see? Uh-huh.
Hey.
Between-
Oh, sorry.
Between her and Colenso, I don't know who I want to masturbate more to.
Colenso's got a good radio voice. That's for sure.
He does. He does. We played your Toys for Twats bit yesterday for our guest, and he was loving it. He's like, "Who is that?"
Yeah.
I think that was the first try too. Wasn't it my first full run through? Maybe the second time I ran through it.
You did a couple.
Did I?
You
Yeah,
did
it was like a couple,
yeah.
but you did a great job.
Oh, you did great.
And it was funny because as I'm writing it, I'm like writing it in your voice. I'm like, she would be great at
Funny.
this.
He hears your voice
That's
all the
funny.
time. I think he hears your voice all the time.
I do.
It's in his spank bank. Forever in the spank bank.
That's why I'm going to have to start taking the cold showers in the morning.
Yes. Have you heard of that? Have either one of you have
What's
heard
that?
of the cold shower, cold conditioning thing that's going on right now? It's like a
Otherwise known as
Living
revolution.
under a rock, man.
otherwise known as shriveled dick.
no people.
Where are
Actually,
my balls?
people actually take cold showers because it's kind of got a health thing for you. It reboots your system is what
Really?
they're saying. If you continuously take cold showers, not one, but you have to take them every day for
Oh,
a
that's
couple
torture.
months, and it's supposed to
Yeah,
reboot,
yeah.
reboot your system.
That's bullshit.
I live for a long, burning hot shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no interest in rebooting any type of system if that's what it takes.
No, right.
Nope.
I'm good with that.
Yep.
Nice.
I don't want to have to sit to pee.
Yeah. Well, you don't do the tuck when you. Yeah.
No.
All right, forget it. Anyways.
Only when I poop. Otherwise, it gets all in your face. It's a mess.
Yes, indeed. Sam, you got any plans for the weekend?
I'm not sure actually. We were just talking about it today. Deb is free also, so I'm sure that we're gonna act like real scumbags at some point together.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Bring Deb to our anniversary party next week
I
too.
will.
Yeah,
I
please.
absolutely will.
I was
Mhm.
talking to her yesterday. We're going to try to get the blind spots in here.
Yeah.
Great band, man. It used to be the South Catherine Street Jug Band. If you
Oh,
remember
okay.
those, well, only one dude, the lead singer, is now that's his band, the Blind Spots.
He's starting to sing more too.
Yeah, Swab.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. They sound great. They're doing great.
Awesome. So they're a good band.
Mhm.
Actually, Jug Band were amazing back in the day. A lot of fun.
I love
So
the
I'm looking
Jugs.
forward to, and then we're gonna have room in here for bands to perform and stuff once we get this studio cleaned up a little bit and
Yeah, that
have
would be
live
so-
performances here on the Disruption Networks and EC Radio.
You've
and-
got to bring them in on a night that we can all go out and party afterwards.
yeah.
We
They
don't
should
have to be responsible adults the next day.
come on a weekend or something or
Yeah.
a Friday or something.
Yeah.
And don't forget February 9th. You got a cool little band coming in, right?
Yes, we do.
Who's that?
Enter the Haggis.
Oh
They're
yeah.
going to come in and play. And
Awesome.
Playing here. They're going to be probably the first, I think, by the time we get going over here to play live.
They're gonna be a good band to see.
Not that we didn't have live performances in the
oh
other
no,
room, but
yeah, in the new studio.
in the new studio would be great.
Do you know who you need to get in soon?
What's that?
Is that crazy dude that the dog trainer? You-
the Piazza thing
yeah,
that's been going
Did
around all
you
day.
read that?
I didn't. I'm
Wild.
unaware of what's going on here.
Crazy.
Talk about it for a second.
This guy, so he's like a local dog trainer. He owns a business. He trains dogs. He made a post, I think yesterday, and he stated publicly on his business's Facebook page, anybody that owns a pit bull or has a pit bull and surrenders that pit bull, whether it be like giving it away or euthanizing it, and gets another dog, a different breed of dog, I'll train that dog for free.
What?
Yeah, so all these, so
What a
many
douche.
so many people have like the nicest pit bulls ever, and so they're all like,
Nina is the nicest pit bull in the world.
yeah, a lot of pit bulls are.
I
So
have-
people are in an uproar, and they're sending him now like death threats, and he's like responding on his Facebook page like, if you think that what I said is wrong, we've got way bigger problems coming. Our mayor is letting Muslims in, and like this is the beginning of the end. Like,
Oh wow! So he's losing his mind.
oh yeah, you need to
So
stop listening to Satan and give up your pit bull, and then he'll swing back around to like,
Business suicide
yeah,
right
oh,
now.
it's fucking wild the things that are coming out of this guy's mouth. Wild. So
I didn't realize it went that far. I did see his post.
Yeah.
But I didn't read any of the comments or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it got bad. Like this guy's losing it.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. So I think you should really get him on here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so why? So he could kill us?
I saw his picture. I could take him.
All right. We'll
Yeah.
definitely
we
get
got
him
we
on
got
Yeah.
bodyguard here.
We'll just bring like 4 pit bulls in.
And that's the thing is, I've owned pit bulls. I've known people who own pit bulls.
Yeah.
And they're the nicest, loyalest dogs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I have 2.
Do you?
Yes.
You have two?
And they're probably really
Yeah.
nice.
Yes, they are. Very well trained, everything.
It's
so.
all about how you raise them.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
if you're gonna tie them to a chain and let them bite on tires all day long and throw rocks at them,
Right.
then they're gonna be an asshole dog.
That's
But
any dog.
I was
though.
you gotta
just about
show
to
them
say that,
love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's any
exactly.
dog.
And they're stubborn. They are stubborn.
Yeah.
You got to really kind of get
Aw,
get their attention.
Yeah,
when
that's
you
very
train
true.
them.
That's why it's important to get them when they're like 8 weeks old.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, when they're real small.
Like my
Exactly.
my pitch. She and if you get a tennis ball in her mouth, she'll do anything you wanted. Diamond, remember Diamond?
Yeah.
Anything you wanted. Like she hated other dogs. She would always attack a dog. You put a ball in her mouth, she would do whatever you wanted.
Put her on camera. Yeah, she's over there. There's Sonny playing. Aww.
There's Sonny.
And some of the
Sonny's
meanest
good.
dogs I've seen were those little ankle biters.
Yeah,
You know-
so there was like a local, I think it was CNY veterinary clinic. They responded to it and they were like, just so you know, bro, like the #1 dog bite wound is documented as Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
They were like, pit bulls
Really?
are like way down on the list. They were like then like German Shepherds.
Chihuahuas.
Yeah, they're like the #1 dog that bites people is a Chihuahua.
Wow.
Like my friend's pit bull, she will lick the shit out of your face.
Right.
Like she will never bite you.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah,
She
this
is.
guy's
He's a
gone
good
off the
dog.
deep end.
So he's losing his marbles.
Like she doesn't
Maybe we
know the
should get
meaning of the word mean. You know, I've gotten bit by little tiny dogs all the time. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have tiny dogs. I love
I think
them.
your dog bit me.
Probably. My 4-pound dog hates all other creatures but humans.
She went after Karen's pit.
Well, she's killed birds. She's killed. She's gone after squirrels. She's killed chipmunks. It's crazy. She's nuts. She's absolutely nuts. But when you see her, you love her because she looks like a little. She looks like a little stuffed animal. She's
does.
just so cute.
Yeah.
She gets
You
that
know?
mean look.
But
Like,
then she gets mean like instantly. It's like
she turns into a
crazy.
gremlin.
Right. She's like a woman.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just flicks the script, you know. That's how they do it. But I love her. Love my dogs. Yeah, and it's all how you raise them, man. And
Absolutely.
I just
But
think
well, he's a dog trainer. I mean, he knows that.
Right.
How do you not know that?
so. He probably pretty much wants to kill his business.
Yeah,
Right.
and you know
that's
what's
what
right?
it sounds
I
like.
guess so.
and now like I read a story like I don't know maybe a few months ago that there's a first pit bull police dog in New York State.
Yeah, I read that too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that just goes to show you. I mean, it's not the breed;
No.
it's the owners.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Longwood checking in and saying, "Happy almost Friday, fellas. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
We got your girl with us today. She was walking by the studio, and we're like, how is she going to walk by and not even peek her head in? See, now that we can see everything going on, now that the studio's in this room, we can see what's happening. So I was like, wait, I recognize that butt.
You guys,
I know that booty.
you guys are the neighborhood watch now.
We're like, booty. Oh, Sam.
The Sam detector went off. Yeah. Malcolm, good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too, man.
We were talking earlier because I saw your post the other day about the best basketball player ever to come out of 315. And
that was a doozy.
It was. You had a ton of dialogue going on.
Yeah.
We just had a referee, a great friend of mine who's been wrapped up in high school sports locally for over 20 years. He just left here to go referee a girls' basketball game, as a matter of fact. Okay. And he said the same answer I did, too.
Yep.
Because we're around the same age. He's a little bit older than I am, but he said the same thing I did, and that's a Donald Foyle. And nobody gave him any love.
Wow, you know what? Someone said that,
That
but
was
it was
me.
like, oh, it was you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wow, yeah, that's crazy that we missed that one.
I can't believe. Well, you know what it is I brought this up because he played Class D.
Oh, that might.
He played for Hamilton, and the dude was a man amongst boys. He was so big. He was 7 foot. 6'11", 7 foot, and he used to just destroy these little redneck dudes.
Wow.
And I think because, like you said, he played in Hamilton, like he wasn't like Utica Rome.
Right.
So like people
Right.
just kind of forgot.
But he played
Yeah.
12 years in the NBA.
Which means a lot. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big
they
time.
they almost forgot Andre Blatch.
Blotch, too, right.
I mean-
and he's still playing the NBA.
Well, you said
too.
Yeah, he's
Shackleford
still-
too.
Dale Shackleford, but he didn't play in the NBA, though. Shaq played in the 70s. He went to Notre Dame, and he went on to play at SU for 4 years, right when Jim Boeheim first took over in the 70s. And he had a great career.
Where's he from?
He's from Utica.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's from Utica. He graduated from Notre Dame in like 1975 or something like that, and then went on just before Boeheim's first year as a coach. There was Dale Shackleford. So he's been on the show before, actually. Great guy, man. Great guy, and he still holds some Notre Dame records, and he played overseas. He played in Europe. He had a long career in Europe, and he played in Greece and Italy. And
Oh, that's some great history. I never knew that.
yeah, man. But I really love that conversation that you had going. A lot of people said Josh Wright, rightfully so. Josh Wright had an amazing
Honorable mention.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, for me, and I come from his era, so for me, him and DeAndre Priester are like at the top of my list.
Right.
But I got a chance to see Breonna Stewart play, and she went to CNS, which is in Syracuse, and she was amazing.
Yeah.
And she
who's
went to
playing for?
UConn.
Who's she playing for right now?
She's in the league. I don't know who she plays for, but she went number one.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Right.
from Syracuse. So, and she was the number one high school recruit coming out of Syracuse. So it's like there's a whole episode on sports science about her and everything. Like
And she didn't lose one game in college.
not one
Not
game.
one game.
She
Wow.
didn't lose one
Undefeated.
game.
Crazy.
Undefeated for 4 years in a row.
That's crazy.
She only lost a handful of games in high school.
Wow.
So like she's always been winning. It's just crazy.
That's crazy. Aw,
Sunshine.
Sonny. We love her. We like dogs more
needy.
than we like people around here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, there she goes.
Sonny's got ups.
Yeah, she does. Sunny.
Wow.
We gotta show what's going on over here. Aw, see, Malcolm, you're getting some love now.
I was not expecting that.
Malcolm, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, last time you were in the house, you were with Ease Beats and Biz, you put out this great, now was that a freestyle?
Yes.
That was a freestyle.
Yes.
You got like 12,000 views on that freestyle, man.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good.
That
Thank
was
goodness.
doing great, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy because right before the clip that I posted, I had like messed up terribly. But I was like, all right, hold on, let me get it together. And I came up with something good. So that was cool.
Yeah. So do you prefer freestyling or do you like
I
to
like it
freestyle?
all, honestly. Just everything about music. See, but I'm one of those guys, I didn't like grow up doing music. So I picked it up late, and ever since I picked it up, I've been like obsessed with it. So
This might be a really dumb question, but do you practice freestyling?
oh yeah, you have
So
to.
yeah, because like I would run out of shit to say, and I'm pretty funny, and I would run out of shit to say. Like I would probably be good for like 2 or 3 verses, and then I would stop. I would
Yeah,
just start
no.
like making noises.
Yeah, no, it definitely gets tricky.
You never
definitely
stop
have to
making
practice.
noises.
No, I don't.
Is it all off the cuff, or is it a lot of it like?
No, some of it is like prearranged, and some of it is off of the cuff. Like it depends. It just depends on the mood I'm in, really. So,
But
'cause
that
I-
is something you practice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
take us through a practice regimen of yours. Like, how would you practice freestyling?
All right. Well, first I would pick like what beat I want to use because that has a lot to do with the flow I'm gonna use
okay.
and maybe the content that I want to talk about. And once I get a beat, it's pretty much smooth sailing from there. I just naturally come up with things to say, and I like to consider myself like a real life rapper. So I talk about things I personally go through, and when you put out that type of content, it's a little bit harder to do it. So it takes more time. But yeah, I enjoy putting the time in and getting better at it.
You record
gradually.
it and all that? Or?
Sometimes. Most of my greatest freestyles are not recorded, which is
that's
crazy.
nice.
Yeah, like I have a lot of freestyles where I'm like messing up and stuff, and I'll still put them out. But like some of my best ones, when it's just like me and my friends, they're like unseen. They'll never be so.
Sitting around breaking balls with your friends.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
drink a little bit and just go from there.
It's like that
Yeah.
time at the EC I was telling you about with Mo and Shane.
Oh yeah, from Bellicose.
Dude, that was sick.
Yeah.
You guys were just like, this random moment, everyone just like picked up and started freestyling.
Yeah.
It was sick.
I'm
That's
too
dope.
stoned to freestyle. I wouldn't be able to think of it too fast.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was I going to say?
That's when I come up with my best shit,
Yes.
Really?
which is crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess
Did you ever get in any rap battles? You ever do? Because there was
Yeah.
the rap battle leagues going on for a minute there. Were you
Yep.
involved in any of
I've
that?
never gotten into one of those because I feel like that's a different sport. That's a whole different monster.
Ah.
I have a high respect for those those guys that battle because that's just a whole different thing.
See, I think I'd be better at that because I'm good at talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good at like
Yeah.
just talking shit and busting people's balls, but making it rhyme, probably not so much.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for those battle rap guys. Shout out to the UBL.
Yeah.
Those guys are talented. man.
Collision, man, and
Collision.
a couple of those dudes.
KR the Problem, Blaze.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. Yes, sir.
Ty.
Ty the Tyrant.
Yeah, he was another
Yes,
one
sir.
involved. Critter. Also,
Critter and Ty are like really good lyricists.
Yeah.
They're good.
Critter needs to come out of retirement.
Right, he does.
I can get him out of retirement.
Critter the Barber?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know he
He's
did.
a great
anything.
MC.
Yeah,
Alex.
I didn't know
he's
that.
really
Really
good.
is.
He has stuff on YouTube. Like if you just type his name,
Why don't you bring him on?
like
I
his
didn't know
battles.
that.
Yeah, his rap battles will pop right up.
Critter TV too. If you go on to YouTube
Yep.
and type in
Yeah,
Critter
that
TV.
I knew. That I knew.
Yeah, Longwood checking in wants to know if we're Orangemen fans. He says Florida State's playing them in September, and he's going to go to the game. So if it's up here in Syracuse, come on up, Longwood. You know we'll show you a good time. So.
Oh, yeah.
And of course we're Syracuse fans.
Duh.
Absolutely.
I bleed orange.
I'll be a fan of anything if it means I get to like be drunk all day and act a fool. I'll fucking root for anybody. Yeah.
Sweet.
Gaffney's checking in, and he's correcting you. He's saying Mo and Shane are the same dude. It's Mo and AO.
What? No,
From
Shane Mo.
Bellicose. Yeah, Shane Mo.
Shane
right.
Mo. That's what I meant.
Yeah, he probably misunderstood you.
Oh.
My AO I saw last night, which is also tied in with Malcolm. I want to see you and AO perform. My Anthony Owens, not Aaron Orr from
Aaron Orr.
Bellicose. I'm talking Anthony Owens. I want to see you guys do something.
We've actually been plotting, so it's funny you say that.
Yeah.
He was just at my house the other day. We're plotting on a project, so that'll be out this year,
Yeah.
couple months.
Dude, don't stop. AO's constantly going. She's got hops. She's got great hops.
Scared the shit out of me.
The dog could jump.
It's like a 4-foot jump. Jeez.
She's got some springs in her hind legs, that's for sure. But back to you and AO doing some things. I could definitely see that happening, man.
Yeah, and AO does stuff with the camera, so he'll be responsible for a lot of my visual stuff that comes this year. So
The kid documented like 3 years of my life. Every time I turned around, there he is, you know, with the street rock and when we had the band going.
he
full-time
told me,
and
he
stuff
actually
like
told
that.
me about that. He gave me a rundown of what you guys were doing. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
And we talked last night too because they stopped in the bar, him and Mandry, the drummer, and talked about hopefully doing some collaborations and writing and stuff like that.
I love Mandry. He's such a good guy.
He is. He's funny too.
He is.
He's a funny dude. And in fact, let's give him a plug because I think this weekend is Sunday, right? He's opening up for the Honky Tonk Man. He's doing his comedy shtick for opening for the Honky Tonk Man at Club Marnard.
He's got to do it as like Pink Schneider or something.
Yeah, well, have you ever seen him do? He's got this rap called Fractions. It's really funny.
I think
It's
I've heard it.
really, really funny. He does that, and he's got a funny shtick. He does.
It's Mandry.
It's Mandry, right? But he does have to do it in costume. I think we have to do this show in costume one day.
Are you guys into comedy at all?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see Dave Chappelle's new stand-up?
No.
I haven't. I've been hearing good things.
You have to.
He's
You have
so
to go
goddamn
watch
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go.
I
watch
seen
it.
him on. He did a show with Norman Reedus. You know who Norman is?
No, I'm not familiar actually.
He's in Boondock Saints.
Oh. Okay.
Walking Dead. He's Daryl on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He does a show called Ride with Norman Reedus, and where they just ride motorcycles, and he does with Dave Chappelle. Him and Dave Chappelle just go ride motorcycles and do these different adventures and shit. And it's so cool because they're like doing stuff, and people are like, Norman Reedus, and they look at him like, holy shit, it's Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? Like, they're just chilling out under an underpass
Oh
because
my
it's
God,
raining,
this stuff.
smoking a cigarette. Like, I'm like, this is like really cool. But I knew he was going back doing stand up, but I didn't hear any of it.
Yeah, he's done like 2 so far within the last year, 2 different ones, and they're amazing.
He took some time off, right?
Like 10 years.
It was that long.
That's what a lot of his like segment is about, like his break, and the way he breaks it down is hilarious.
Chicken's got a date tonight.
Yeah, how you doing?
That's it.
It's my bitch.
It's a lot better than the girl from last night. I'm kidding.
This one's got worms.
Oh, Sam, get your dog out of here.
The girl from last night didn't.
Well, shh. She did that weird butt rub thing. You know, it was.
Sam, you coming back, hang out with us next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, any day. We're wide open next week, actually. I need some guests next week, so if you got
Okay.
anybody, yes, go ahead.
Sam, you know you're always welcome.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm out of here. Give me the D.
Yes. Bye, Sam. Good to see you. Actually, stop in next Friday. We're having our 1-year anniversary on-air party here next Friday. We've got Brady and Nick going to come in and play from Floodwood. And normal time.
You gotta remind me.
Yeah, I
We
will.
should start a little early, I think.
You want to start early?
I think we should start a
We'll
little
do an
early.
all-day fiasco.
Yeah.
Could
yeah.
be fun.
Like right after Tommy Drama, we'll lead right into.
Yeah. Bye, Sam. Good to see you. Bye, Sonny. That dog's got some hops.
Yeah,
The dog could jump. Right on. Malcolm McGill joining us. Malcolm, you know, I've been following your journey since we became Facebook friends.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm enjoying what you're doing, man. You got a
Appreciate
very
that.
positive outlook on life, which
Appreciate that.
I appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, we need more positive people like yourself out there in the world because the world's so fucked up the way it is. And also, like, you're doing your music and stuff, you're constantly repping the 315, and that's super important to me, especially on this program. So continue to do that, please.
I appreciate that. You know, I kind of made that my mission from the moment I decided I wanted to do this. You know, just try to keep a positive outlook and just represent the city, man. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of that going on, but when I first started, there wasn't that much of it for like the people I was around.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the cool thing to talk down about the city.
Exactly,
So I was
right.
like, nah, that's whack, man. Fuck that shit. So, you know, just had to come and hold it down.
And then I feel like there's this whole
You're getting a bell on that one. Yeah.
there's this whole change around in the city though lately. You know,
I've
in a
noticed
way.
it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean,
it's
we
like a
still need more, of course.
way more.
And we're sharing that same sentiment. You know, like we hear all about the haters. There's nothing to do around here. And this sucks and that sucks, but nobody's wanting to do anything. And, you know, we've discovered people like yourself and, you know, different artists and musicians and business owners and events and things like that in the area that are just, wow, this is amazing. You know, we got people that from out of state, you know, Longwood, some of these guys that like, wow, Utica sounds like a pretty cool place. But then you got people here just like, oh, this is a shithole. I hate it.
Yeah, I want to. You know what I want to do this year? I want to put more pressure on the people and the supporters because for a while I feel like we put pressure on the entrepreneurs and the creators, but we've been delivering. It's time we get some support and you know some good vibes and people coming out to these things that we're putting our hard work and our hard-earned money into, and you know shit that we're putting time into. And then like we'll have one thing I hate is when there's an event going on in the city and then like everyone's on Facebook like, oh, there's nothing to do.
Yes. Drives me nuts.
Like
Pisses
you know,
me off.
it's like, bro, somebody's throwing something right downtown or at Munson Williams or wherever. It's just like, go stop by and check it.
Or they'll go hate on it.
Yeah, like, oh, it's just a bunch of local artists. They suck. You know?
Yeah. The local artist debate. You know, that's like the hottest topic on Facebook right now.
Is it?
Oh, absolutely. Like with the young crowd, like the 19 and under crowd, that's all they're talking about is local rap. Who's the hottest? Who's the wackest? Stuff like that. That's like a big topic right now. So a lot of derogatory things.
It's a shame. You know, it's like everyone's so quick. Like, I don't know if you ever go on topics. It's just,
heard
that's
about
just a trash. You know, like everyone just goes on there and just trashes
Trashes.
people.
Don't.
Because they
Go
can
on.
sit back.
Is that a Utica thing or is that like
It's
everywhere?
a
It's
nationwide
everywhere.
thing, but
Yeah.
the Utica section of it
They
is
go
pretty.
hard.
Their message board is it's all
Keyboard tough guys.
Yeah, internet tough
Yeah.
guys.
Everybody just, you know, sitting behind a computer talking shit. They'll be like, oh, this restaurant sucks. And it's like, it hasn't even opened yet.
right?
You know what I mean? It's like, you guys are trash and it hasn't even opened yet.
Is that like the new cool thing to do? Just trash everything that comes out, whether it's music, movies. Like, did you guys see the movie Bright or hear about the movie Bright with Will Smith?
You know what? When I seen the previews, I'm like, this movie looks kind of whack. But I've heard people say it's pretty good.
No, to me, it's an amazing movie.
What's it about?
In a nutshell, it's basically Men in Black and Training Day combined.
Wow.
That's basically what it is. It's like a car ride. The whole movie is like a car ride with two officers, and they're just doing their thing. And I like the movie a lot, man. I like it.
I've heard a lot like seeing the previews. I was like, this just looks really weird.
Yeah.
But like the people I've talked to that watch it really enjoyed it. So
you know, another movie that struck me like that in the preview was Get Out. I thought Get Out was gonna be like geared towards a certain thing, but when I watched it, it was pretty good.
I'm trying to remember if I seen that one.
It came out last year.
Who's in it? What's it about?
Like all new actors. It's about like a black guy dating a white girl, and the previews are kind of like making it look like it's like one of those racial movies, but it was actually about something way deeper. And so that's another movie I think
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, Get Out. You should definitely check that one.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen
And like the star actor is like some new young guy, so it's not like he's like a. So it's pretty good.
You ever see the movie Higher Learning?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That's a classic.
I don't know how old you are. That's why I didn't know.
I'm 25, but that's a classic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a must.
Because I was like 25 when that came out.
Yeah, if you want to do hip hop, like certain movies and stuff, you had to see
Like
those.
Juice.
Exactly. And certain albums, like you have to know certain, you know.
Yeah, like
Beach Street.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Higher Learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't listen, but I've definitely heard about Beat Street.
I feel like
That's
Higher
like
Learning.
1984.
Yeah.
How about Electric Blue? Or what was it? Breakin' 2 and the Electric Boogaloo. That's the other one. And Breakin' was another one back in.
Well, Boys in the
1985.
Hood. You got
Boys in the Hood.
everybody. You have to watch
Everybody.
Boys in the Hood.
That's that. You have to. You have to.
And now it's Straight Outta Compton.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah, it was a great movie.
How do we feel about that?
Well, see, that was my era. Like when Straight Outta Compton came out, I was,
It was
in
like
high school.
It was like
And-
watching Behind the Music.
And Straight Outta Compton,
Like, that's what it
Straight Outta
felt like.
Compton changed my life, man, because of the realism and the rawness of it, and just, you know, the way they put it out there. And then it became censored, and then my mom, of course, took the tapes away from me because I had it on cassette.
Yeah.
You know, so then I had to buy another one and hide it from her and shit like that. So NWA Straight Outta Compton, that cassette, that tape, album, whatever you want to refer to it as, was one of the albums that changed my life.
You guys are lucky, man. I'm not gonna lie. To be a part of that era where you guys consumed music the way you did, and the artists, the type of artists that you guys
And
got
the
to
fire
see.
that they brought at that time.
Right. Like,
Public Enemy at that
I'm
time.
sour I didn't get to experience.
Yeah,
that,
Public
man.
Enemy at that time really yelling from the rafters, and you had a lot of.
Enemy was another
KRS-One.
one, right?
And
Yeah.
then we got into like the Rage Against the Machine type of bands and shit like that, and so like they brought a lot of social energy, you know, and even bands like U2 and Pearl Jam and those type of bands, they brought a lot of social.
They made a statement.
Yes, you know,
brought some consciousness out there to the world a little bit.
Is that a thing anymore? I know we all appreciate it, but is it a thing?
You know what's funny is
not.
Chicken says this all the time, and I have to agree with him. There's not that band out there making that political stance anymore. I will say Prophets of Rage, though.
Yeah.
Prophets of Rage are doing it. Tom Morello, of course, and then Chuck D and Be Real from Cypress Hill. They got a band together. It's called Prophets of Rage.
Just check that out.
It's pretty much Rage Against the Machine fronted by
Chuck
Be
D.
Real and Chuck D.
Okay.
And they're out there and they're writing new music out there and they're talking about politics and social consciousness and whatever like that. But I feel like they're the only ones doing it.
And it's
Can
very
you think
smart,
of
too.
somebody doing it out there?
I mean, you got your like J. Cole's, Kendrick Lamar's, Chance the Rapper, but after that, it gets very slim.
Right.
Out of like 3 million rappers, there's like 3 who stand for something.
I'm sorry, Malcolm, but today's hip hop sucks.
I can't disagree.
Thank
I
you.
can't disagree.
I'm just not into like mumble rap. I
Yeah.
can't get into that.
I'm new to the mumble rap. It even took a while for me to get into that, but I can appreciate some of it. But for the most part, I like to hear substance.
Right.
Like,
Seriously.
after a while, it's just like, you know, when you're having one of those days, you don't want to hear that. You want to
Well,
hear
and
something.
you know, like you brought up when you talked about Straight Outta Compton, it brought back where that came from, where the music came from, and why they brought it out. Like, you know, fuck the police and shit like that. Like why they were singing it. And
Dope,
like,
man.
yeah, and like, you know, you forgot that like Ice Cube was a pissed off dude all the time. You know what I mean? And like his kid played him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so his kid grew up pretty much a millionaire. You know what I mean? His kid was probably spoiled. I hate to say that, but I mean,
It's true.
you know, his dad's an actor.
He had it
musician.
better than his father. did.
Absolutely. So now he's
Absolutely.
playing his father and had to see what his father had to do growing up and getting, fucked by the police and, getting like, all the shit.
Profiled and all that other-
and like screwed over by
Police brutality.
getting screwed over by his record labels and his own band members and shit like that, and having to see that kind of shit and getting and like having to portray his own old man that way. I thought that was a really cool way to look at it.
That was definitely one of the better parts of the movie too. The fact that one, he looks exactly like him, and two,
Yeah.
like that's his son. So it's like you can imagine that probably brought them closer too.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Seeing how his son is into the entertainment business as well.
Like he knew the history, but like to live it,
Yeah, that's a whole different monster.
right?
Yeah, that album definitely changed my. And here I was, a metal kid growing up and into rock and roll and stuff. I liked hip hop. Of course, I was into the Beastie Boys, and I loved Slick Rick back in the day. Lottie Dottie was my jam back in the day.
See, I always
Dougie Fresh and stuff like that. But when NWA came out and it had a message behind it, it had some substance.
but they were kind of like the
and it was
metal version of rap.
exactly.
And
And-
that outlaw, scare
Exactly.
your mom type of shit.
yeah, right. And it changed the world, man. It definitely changed the world.
Yeah, I feel like these new kids, they took that motto, but they kind of added like something real different to it.
Yeah, they started eating Tide Pods.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Let's put this Tide Pod in my mouth and start rapping or see what happens.
Or put, I'm not a big fan of the grills.
Yeah,
And then you can't understand a word they're fucking saying,
yeah.
and it's like, dude, man, like,
That's why it's called mumble rap.
yeah,
and I especially hate when like East Coast dudes do it because like that's like a down south thing.
Yeah.
So like they have that whole thing mastered. They can talk with those things, but like when they do it from New York as a mouthful of grills, it's like
Yeah. Just stick to
It's
wearing
not
the
what we do.
Just stick
Right.
to wearing a Yankee hat, pal.
right.
You know what-
Yankee hat and champion hoodie.
you know what I used to love back in the day was Onyx.
Oh
I used to
yeah,
rock
Onyx was
Onyx.
tough.
Because they were tough. Right, they were hard. They had an edge to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to fuck with those dudes.
I'm a b-boy. Yeah,
You
they
know?
just like he'd go nuts.
I always thought Trench too from Naughty by Nature was
Trench,
a dude
yeah.
you wanted to mess with because he was just jacked. He was in great shape and he just looked like a dude you didn't want to mess with.
Mystical.
Mystical is hilarious. I was watching some Mystical videos the other day. I think he's like an aggressive guy, but it's just in a funny way to me. It comes off hilarious to me.
And Busta Rhymes.
Busta
Is it-
Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is still doing his thing.
Is
out
he?
here.
I haven't
this
heard him in
guy-
a while.
Yeah, he came here last year.
He was last
To
year.
Lava.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Still
That's
doing
right.
his thing.
So I think what today's hip hop is missing is, first of all, like you said, substance. The political thing to
Yep.
it. There's not really. To me, hip hop has
That message.
It has
Yeah.
a socially conscious. It tells a story. Or it's a fun party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like today's hip hop isn't getting either one of those sides of the
And
aspect.
it's Molly and Percocet.
Yeah, like what's up with that? Like
I don't know.
you're
There's
just
like
encouraging people to take Molly and Percocet right now.
It's definitely like a deep trans over like hip hop right now. I don't know what's going on, but it's brainwashing a lot of people too.
Dumbifying
You need
America.
You need somebody, and I feel like that's the same way with rock music today. I
Yeah,
feel like
I
you
agree.
need somebody to kick the door down and just do their own thing and just send that new message and fuck whatever else is going on and just be that wave the flag. You know what I mean?
I think that's definitely what we need. I feel like people shy away from doing that because it's just so easy to sell out and just get all the clout and get all the followers and
Get their
money.
15 minutes of fame.
Right, yeah. But they don't realize you're selling out for like 15 minutes of fame. If you're gonna sell out, at least have a career ahead of you.
At least
Right.
get 25 minutes.
Right,
Like
come
Metallica
on.
did. Come on.
Yeah, like people don't make it out of the summer. Like you tatted your face and all, piercing everything crazy, and you're already done.
He's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Lil
You're out.
Wayne.
I didn't want to say it, but truth is truth.
Willie B's checking on the text line. He's saying negative people will always find something to complain about, and he appreciates us for our positivity. So thank you,
Thank you,
Willie.
brother.
Appreciate
And he also
you.
wants to know what we thought about All Eyes, the Tupac film.
I didn't see
Underwhelming.
it.
Underwhelming.
I thought so too.
I'm
actually.
like a Tupac
I
stan.
I thought it should have been a lot better than it was.
Yeah, it was like way too quick. It was just like boom, 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 boom. And they didn't cover anything that I didn't know already. Like everything that was
Yeah.
in the movie, you could see in the YouTube documentary.
Mhm.
Like I thought the point of the movie was to give us stuff we didn't know.
And then they
already.
used like a no-name actor too. Like
yeah, they did.
Yeah, but he looked like him.
he
though.
did look
He
like
did.
him.
Yeah, but he looked.
He couldn't really act like
yeah,
him,
he
but
wasn't a
looked
good
like him.
actor though. I mean, I seen like clips and I'm like, this guy can't really act.
Yeah, he looked. I think that's what they went off of, his looks.
Yeah, like
because-
okay, I get it. Like you look like him. I like go with the acting more than the looking.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, because when you get bad acting, it just ruins the whole movie.
It does. So a combination of that and bad writing, and there was like some type of dilemma going on with the directors. There were two guys that teamed up to do it, but one of them was trying to go too far off of the deep end. Like he wanted to include like a rape scene in the movie and stuff like that, and the other guy wasn't really with that. So it ruined the outcome of the movie because the two guys who started it didn't finish it. It was like one
They
guy.
should have had John Singleton do it.
That's
Yeah,
who.
right.
That's
You
the
know?
guy who wanted to like put the rape scene and everything in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, John Singleton did.
Yeah,
Did he?
and people are like, "Well, is that true? Do we not know?" So it's like, I don't know.
I'm surprised.
So he
And
just
John
walked away.
Singleton's a legit dude.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
They had a relationship, so I feel like if anybody knew anything, it
right?
would be
Because he
him.
was in Poetic Justice.
Yeah,
That was a
Oh
John
yeah, that's
Singleton
right.
movie.
It was a John Singleton movie.
yeah. They were like close.
Yeah.
I love me some Janet
Well,
Jackson.
did Singleton do Did he do Juice?
I don't think he
No,
did
I don't
Juice.
think he did. No.
I don't think he did Juice. He did Boys in the Hood, I think.
He did Boys in the Hood. He did Higher Learning
and
Poetic
and
Justice.
Poetic.
I don't know if he did
Jungle Fever. Didn't he do Jungle Fever too?
He might have. That looks like.
Or
it.
was that-
No, that might be Spike.
That was Spike.
That might be Spike
I think
Lee.
that was Spike Lee.
Okay. Right on. He's also saying what hip hop is missing these days is soul, and he's right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's no soul in hip hop anymore. It's kind of just too audio tune.
hmm I agree. One thing that annoys me, because I'm not gonna lie, I try to like show range with my music, so I might do something that sounds more current. But then there's times where I will put something soulful out, and it's just like the soulful stuff never cuts through how the rest of the stuff cuts through, and it's kind of annoying. It's like, I mean, if
You'll
this is what
find
you
it, man.
want-
You'll-
right?
You-
hopefully,
you will.
yeah, hopefully, man.
You're
because-
young, son. You got time.
Yeah, it's very
that's
true.
That's the one thing you got on your side, my friend, is time.
Very true.
You do. So you keep plugging away and doing your thing. Good things are going to come to you. That's for sure.
Yes, sir.
Longwood's checking in. He saying Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Shout out to the Woo.
And Raz wants to know why he sees the Bill Murray from the strips in the shot. Where is Bill Murray? There he is. Show him. Can I see him? Stripes. Yeah, stripes. You are awesome. There you go. You are awesome. That's right. We have him hanging here. Malcolm, do you have any upcoming performances at all?
No, I will. Right now, I'm locking down and just working on the music. I'm trying to put together the best project I can, and this summer, we're gonna be performing. Hopefully, I get a couple spots around here.
Where? Can you tell me where?
That's a good question.
And that's the one thing that is lacking around here is a venue.
Yeah.
And not even just a venue for hip hop or, that angle, but there's no venue for
Anything.
rock bands or anything.
Original
there's
music,
no there's no
There's
it
hardly
sucks.
any nightclubs left.
That's true.
So
It's a bummer, man.
Well, they are, but they're all DJs.
it's almost it's almost
Yeah.
better to throw a backyard party.
yeah,
You know?
that's what a lot of people have been doing, like throwing house get-togethers and stuff. Because Friday, Saturday night, there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. So
Well, to play live venues, it's tough. I mean, people like
it's the only thing.
we've been over this so many times because bar owners don't want to take that chance. Like, what if they're not any good or whatever? But
Right. Well, that's the thing too. Well, actually, they look at it as beer sales. You're gonna
Right.
you're gonna sell beer or not, and then they look at all the other aspects. But the whole hip hop community has such a bad like
it does.
stigmatism
Terrible.
over, and it's for no reason. When I had the club, man, I did hip hop shows all the time. We never had any problems, man. I had Sugar Hill Gang there, and we used to have No Stuck come in and out of there, and all the dudes used to come. All the hip hop shows we used to do back in the day, and never had any problem. And more problems with the heavy metal bands,
they don't understand that that's what the people want.
Well, they got blinders. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
They're not open to actually looking at the other side.
I agree with that. as
and
well.
and it's unfortunate.
Will that ever change? Is there a way that we can raise awareness to hip hop being productive?
You know how you do it. You
How?
start your own,
yeah,
and you turn some heads and be like, "Wow, what are these guys doing over here?"
true,
You do it. You gotta take it and do it. Take the ball and run.
true.
And whether you do it at like a CYO gymnasium or
JCC.
a VFW or a Jewish community center or something like that to that effect. You know, you just got to take the ball and run with it.
Yeah,
and,
'cause
and
me and my
create your
team-
own.
Yeah, because me and my team are we're trying to figure something out, but you know, we have limited resources, so we're just trying to see what we.
What
can
if you do? Here's an idea. What if you do something like a charity event?
Okay, elaborate.
Like do
How about the community garden in Cornhill?
well like,
Where's that?
They're all over in Cornhill. There's a couple community gardens.
like
Oh, like an actual garden.
There's a few of them in Cornhill.
Yeah.
yeah,
and
do
then-
like host like a concert, you know, a hip hop show that proceeds go to urban development or you know, whatever. Just make it like
give to the kids.
a charity
Yeah.
event, you know what I mean? And that way it's a positive spin. I see that, you know, like Masucci ends up doing with the
Animals.
Animal Jam, yeah, because you getting all the bands there together for a cause, you know.
Yeah.
We were doing hoodies for the homeless back in the day. That could be a cool little thing, or something for kids. I think kids has got more of a.
Yeah, well, last year this past summer we did a bike drive. We did a bike giveaway. Last year I did a sneaker con at the Villa. We threw like a sneaker competition. Everybody got to come out and show their sneakers, and it was like a competition thing. And I actually go around to these schools and speak to the kids too. Like, so I try to definitely incorporate that into the movement. I think that's very important. And yeah, you guys are absolutely right.
I think we get something going. We bring the Ease Beats and Biz boys into this.
Yeah.
We get like a little we do like a little thing. Maybe we do a breakdance competition.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, bring it back old school. Get a little breakdance thing. Get
be
Gabe
dope.
out there showing his moves.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
He dances like Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, we'll work on something. I think we should do something like
We
that.
should stay in
And
touch with
always doing some kind of charity event. It's just giving back to the community is important.
Yeah,
you know,
because
I think.
Yeah, the vibe is just great. Like when we did the bike giveaway, it was just cool to see, and we had like food and music and stuff. It was cool to just see everybody in their element, chilling. You know,
Positive vibes. You know, that way you kind of dispel that negative, and you know, like stigmatization that goes with it, and then also you're highlighting acts and you know, things like that. People get to play and.
yeah, because that's something I'm so passionate about that. Like, there's some truly talented people around here. and
Really?
it's sad that they don't get the platform or the chance to display it, man. Like some people, from magicians to dancers, rappers, guitar player, whatever, like podcasters, you know, because stuff like I feel like the community hasn't yet caught on to like how important stuff like this is. Because I follow podcasts. You guys have this, and I watch Joe Budden. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
No.
But, like, there's a lot of people that Joe Rogan.
Oh,
Rogan,
well,
yeah.
I religiously watch Joe
Yeah,
Rogan.
so like I understand what this is. So
Uh-huh.
I just think we need to get more people on board to, you know.
I agree.
Right. Well, see, with Ease Beats and Biz, that offers a platform to the local artists, and you know, we focus on a lot of that. We want to, you know,
Showcase
showcase and let everybody know that what we got here in the 315. There's so many great bands, music, artists, like you said. It's here. We want to showcase that, and a platform like this is doing that. You know, we don't need the venues. Frig it. You know,
Yeah.
we'll do it this way.
Independent.
You
And
know?
this is our city. We've said this so many times. This is our city. The only way we're going to make it grow is if we help it grow.
Right.
You know, I mean, nobody's going to do it for us. We can't sit around, like you were saying, call out the people. You know, we can't sit there and wait for somebody else to do this for us. We got to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So if nobody's going to let you play anywhere, we got to find a way to let you play. You know what I mean? Make the events happen.
Yeah, because it's all about getting people to take the initiative to get up. Because if you come out and see what we have going on, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like what you see. It's just the fact of getting down there. you know?
Exactly. So, hey, if they're not going to do it for us, we're going to do it ourselves.
Yes, sir.
You
'Cause
know?
the train will not stop. We're not stopping.
I'm not a religious man, but God helps those who help themselves.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm on that train.
Who are you running the train on?
I'm on that train. I'm on that train. I'm in the bar cart. You need me, I'll be in the bar cart. I'm on the train, though.
Oh man.
I'm tipping them back, enjoying the fruits of the labor. But anyways, Malcolm McGill in the house with us. Where can people check you out online, find your music?
I'm on SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/MELZ33. That's Melz33. I'm also on YouTube. You can type in Malcolm, MALCOLM, the number 1 and ISH. That's Malcolm 1ish, and that's my YouTube channel.
One-ish?
Yeah, I made that when I was like 18. I don't know what was going through my mind. Just fucking Malcolm One-ish.
You just keep it active though.
Yeah. I do a lot of different things on there too. I have vlogs, I have music videos, interviews. I do song reviews of like songs that come out. So there's a couple different things on there that you guys can check out. So go check that out.
Yeah. We saw the one interview you did with the girl, the WNBA player.
Oh, Brianna Keesley.
Brianna Keesley, yes. And now, did you go to high school with her? She's
Yes,
from
I
Proctor,
did.
right?
She's a good friend of the family. She's a very good person.
Yeah.
Very hardworking young lady.
Mm-hmm. And who's she playing with now?
I believe she's overseas.
Oh, okay.
She's overseas now, doing her thing, still balling, still playing. I believe she got hurt a little bit, but she's back and up and active. That's my boy.
Oh. What's up, man?
That's Brandon.
Hey, how you doing?
You want to have a seat?
Yeah, have a seat. What's up, Brandon? Z. You guys a team?
Yeah, this is one half of the team.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys missing.
Couple guys. How many guys on the team? With the crew, with your posse. What do you guys
We
call
have a lot
it?
of
Nobody uses the
extended
word
family.
posse anymore, do
Right.
they?
Fosse, yeah, Fosse.
The guys.
Fosse died out a little minute ago. Yeah,
I'm
for
old,
sure.
dude.
But yeah, shout out to Paul and Collis. They couldn't make it, but those are the other two guys.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually the head of the podcast. That interview you saw with Brianna Keezel.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. That's right. That's
Yeah.
why you look familiar.
Yep. So
Do you? Are you a rapper too? Do you?
No, I'm
Do
more
music?
behind the scenes.
You're the behind the scenes guy.
Yeah, I'm more behind the scenes guy.
Oh, he's
more-
Todd.
More the management role, more to put stuff in position,
Yeah.
put the pieces together, kind of thing. I
Gotta
love
have
music.
those
Don't
guys,
get me
man.
wrong. And I'm definitely like a wordsmith in my own right. But I leave most of the rapping to him. Maybe somewhere down the line.
Yeah. You keep him in line though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We balance each other out. We got a strong team, so
Yeah.
we try our best to really keep a nice little checks and balances system going. And
Oh, that's great.
Gotta have that, man.
You do
Gotta
gotta have
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, it's super important.
We know that here.
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
Yeah, it's like
It's like when me and Chicken fight, we need a referee. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we do. We play mediator amongst ourselves, pretty much. So
You got
it works out. It's working out. It's working out for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you a Proctor guy too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
through and through, man. It's
All
a
right.
great
So
day to be a Raider.
who was the best basketball player from the 315 all time?
In my personal opinion, it's definitely not a clear-cut answer. But in my personal opinion, DeAndre Priester. Yeah, I played with DeAndre throughout my high school career. We were seniors together. We won a section championship together in 06, 07. 2 minutes away from winning another one, going back to back in 07, 08, our senior year. But yeah, no, I'm going with Dre. Pure dominance. Truly unstoppable.
Yeah.
I never seen anything like
And a
it.
gifted athlete.
Yeah, for sure. I watched. I remember vividly watching Josh Wright play when I was like younger and stuff. Going to Proctor, seeing the gym sold
How old's
out.
Josh now, man? How old is he now?
Gotta be
early
32.
30s.
30s?
Early 30s.
Yeah, 32, 33.
Is he still local?
have no
I'm
clue.
not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. But shout out to Dub. He definitely put on for the town, and that was like I said, we were younger when he was doing his thing, but I remember how major it was. Especially for a
Oh, yeah.
basketball player from this area to be doing so well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like at that time there was already a couple of football players that had established themselves
course.
from around this area. Ernest Jones,
Will.
Daddy-O.
yeah, word.
And of
RP
course
to Will Smith.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so I feel like Josh was the first one to really put like
Penny
Utica on the
Samaya
map.
too. Penny Samaya,
Oh, Penny Samaya.
Yep.
Right. He was big boy.
big boy. Played with Will.
Played right out. Yeah, he
Oh,
played
okay.
with Will. Him
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Will were best friends, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sad day, man. Sad.
Yeah, it
freaking
was
day.
crazy. I still can't believe that happened.
I'm still pissed.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's crazy how people don't understand like the way circumstances work, and just like life, like how anything can hit you at any time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to tell people all the time. Like, don't take anything for granted. Time waits for no man, and we're not gonna be here forever.
That's right.
So that's why we personally go so hard, try to push the envelope because time is limited. You know what
here.
I'm saying? Personally,
Enjoy while you got it.
yeah, no, for sure. That I learned, you know what I'm saying, just from life and what the stuff that's happened so far. My grandfather passed away at 57. My father passed away at 41. So, I mean, the way odds work.
Damn, I'm 41.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you stay, health is very important.
Oh, believe when I turned 40, that was like the big changing point in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ditto.
no, for
I just
sure.
dropped 70 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's
He's
super
lost
important.
60 pounds, 70
Yeah, no,
pounds,
that's
right?
great, man,
He
for real,
keeps
honestly,
killing it.
because
Congrats.
that'll do
Thanks.
people, a lot of people don't understand how like important your health is.
Yeah.
You can't, if you're not here, you can't do anything.
Right.
So people drink themselves into a coffin. They'll smoke themselves into a coffin.
Well, I
but-
do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Everyone has their vices. Nobody's perfect, you know what I'm saying, for sure. But it's just like a combination of things. Some people like to pile stuff on top of other
Right.
stuff. So if you smoke a lot and you're unhealthy, or you drink a lot and you're diabetic, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So people definitely need to pay way more close attention to their health and stuff like that. And I mean,
And mental health too.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Mental
Oh
health.
my
That's
God,
what I mean. I
mental
think
health.
a lot of people don't take into account. And I think your physical health attributes to your mental health as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's all
know,
mind,
Yeah,
body,
mind,
and
body,
soul.
soul. Yeah, that's why I say it. It's true. It's honestly true.
You got people are like they're so worried about building for their future that they never worry about what they're doing today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're so worried about tomorrow that, you know what, man, you got to live today.
Yeah.
You got to like enjoy it. You got to have some fun today and get rid of that stress and all that anger and
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot that goes into that.
The mental health topic has been a part of my life for like the last 8 months. Shout out to Todd Post. He's an ex-Army vet, and he went through a couple things in his life. He suffers from PTSD and stuff like that. So I've been shooting a documentary for him, and he's been sharing stories with me and stuff. And it's just like, damn, like we do need to start looking at this a little bit more. And I actually made a song about that too. Not to shameless plug, but I have a song called Reverse Psychology, where it's just basically talking about two friends. One of them wants to commit suicide, and just the process of him talking his friend out of that. So, yeah, man, that's a topic that needs to be addressed more.
And it feels like a lot of people get they shy away from that topic. Like for some reason, it's like you'll talk about you get sick, you go to the doctors. Your arm hurts, you go to the doctors. You know, your car engine fucked up, you go to the mechanic. But like if you're fucked up in the head, you're like, I'll deal with it. It's not a problem. You like ignore it. It's
Yeah, for
everything
sure.
else. You know, you'll sedate it with alcohol and weed or heroin or
Yeah,
whatever
no,
it is.
definitely.
You know, and everyone's too embarrassed to get the help.
Yeah, that's something like you said, it's something we're really going to try to focus on this year, because for whatever reason, society doesn't give a fuck about men's mental health.
Right.
Like for we just supposed to be the strongest, have the most fortitude mentally. Like I'm not sure when that happened. I don't know if that's just like as time went on and gender roles and stuff like that, but it's really important. We seem really focused on females' emotions and their thoughts, and we kind of just push men's stuff to the wayside.
Exactly.
And I mean, like you said, it's way more important than people think.
You're absolutely right, and that I'm glad you brought that up.
So we got
I
a
feel-
lot of these mass shootings going on.
Yeah, man.
like, daily,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
and
Think
we-
about how much crime in violence would be stopped with proper help.
Yeah.
You know,
Some
And
people
that's
just need someone
what-
to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get too deep, but I have a conspiracy behind all of this. But yeah, I just think it's
listening,
it's,
Raz.
he is listening.
it's deep, man. It's deep, and what's weird to me is we can talk about like
I like conspiracy, so go ahead.
just to keep myself out of trouble. I won't go too far off the deep end, but I will say this: I definitely think it's weird how we can talk about like dick, pussy, titty, this and that, but we can't ask each other like, "How are you doing today?" You know, I think that's very strange.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about like the unthinkable openly on Facebook everywhere, but you know, just a simple like, "How are you? Where's your mind at today?"
Right.
And it's kind of like that's the elephant in the room, as opposed to like who we had sex with last night. It's
Right.
just weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting the way that society champions certain things. Like I said, it's just I don't get it, and hopefully, like I said, we're gonna really try to push the envelope as far as just men's mental health awareness.
Well, I will say why that is prevalent out there is because social media platforms. Now every idiot in the world has a platform that they can, you know, make their announcement or make their post about. And
Yeah.
you know, and it was never like that before.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
so
true.
like if dick and pussy is the popular thing, of course it's gonna be the thing, and of course let's push the important issues aside.
Right.
Let's talk about dick and pussy all the time. Well, which we do.
Right.
But we do both though.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
balance. It's about balance.
You're
I don't want to
absolutely
come off
right.
too preachy here. I'm with the shits. I'm with the shits.
We were all antics.
But I like what you were saying about you know, like everyone's worried about the female emotions, and we all seen the hashtag Me Too and all that stuff. And you know, as a male, dude, I've been violated so many times by women.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit there and cry. Oh, you know, they violated me, and because I'm a man, we're taught like big deal. You know.
Right, yeah, deal with it.
You know, but I'm working at a bar at a nightclub. I used to work at a nightclub, and girls would come up and grab my crotch, and they, you know, I'd be walking with another female, and a girl would just come up and jump on top of me and just start kissing me and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. If I did that to a girl, I would be arrested.
You would be finished. Yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? But there's some people that, like, I've seen girls walk up to a guy and just crack him in the face.
That's
And-
happened to me before.
And the girl look at him, oh, we gonna get hit by a girl? You gonna sit there and cry because you got hit by a girl?
Right.
Taunting him to hit her. Because once he does, now he's a bitch because he hit a girl.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's such a double standard. And it's like, well, you want equal rights. Okay, well, equal rights. If a dude hit me, you're getting laid the fuck out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't ever condone hitting a girl, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, don't hit. Nobody should put their hands
Right,
on
right.
anybody.
Anybody.
You know what I'm
That's how
saying?
you
Like,
solve that.
Right.
Nobody
Exactly.
touches anybody.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
At one point, are we all classified as humans?
Right,
Like, what would a female have to do to warrant, like, okay, well, she shoots me. Am I valid now to defend myself?
Right, and I
You
feel
know
like
what I'm
as a
saying? I feel
guy,
you.
sometimes you're always the victim at that point, because if she hits you and you retaliate, you're
Right,
still
you're
in
wrong.
trouble.
Yep.
You're still the asshole.
Willie B's checking in, and he says, people always ask if you're married, have a house, have a nice car, like life is a grocery list, but never ask if you're happy.
If you're okay,
Oh,
right?
that's true.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know what? I think we need to start making this movement happen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Malcolm, are you happy?
I had a rough day,
You had a rough day?
honestly.
You need a
if-
hug?
If we being honest.
I'll give you one after the show.
I can use a hug.
Oh, yeah.
I can use a
I'm a
hug.
hugger. Yeah,
He
sure.
likes a hug from
Pause,
behind.
pause.
Just FYI.
Like a nice tight hold. I want you to feel it, man. I
His
want you to feel
pants
it.
may be on the ground.
You happy?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. I got my new iPhone yesterday.
Yeah?
I mean,
The
to
X?
your man's point, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got a new phone, so I'm happy. Absolutely.
So
man.
you'll be frustrated
For
later.
sure. right. When I'm trying to set it up and it's freezing and shit. Shout out to Apple, man, for fucking us over again and again and again. But we just keep throwing our money to them. Shout out to Apple.
So I'm the Samsung guy.
Them two. They're the
out to
same.
Yeah, nah, yeah.
It's exactly the same. Chicken, you happy?
I'm content.
Yeah?
I'm all right today.
I'm happy.
Are
I
you
have
happy?
nothing to complain about. There's so much other things going on in the world, and we could be so much worse off than where we are. We could be in the Philippines right now worrying about this volcano.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's exploding right now, and they don't know where to go because they're on an island.
Yeah.
There's millions of people
That's
need to
insane, man.
evacuate. Like,
It's insane.
life could be much worse. We could be
Yeah.
one of those victims who got caught up in the Vegas massacre.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
or a family member of that? Or,
No,
you
For
know?
sure.
Do you feel like you write better when you're in a bad mood?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I know my favorite songs come from those moods.
So
yes.
like, is it sad, anger? What's or a little combination of both?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I feel like for the most part, generally, we call it spitting that pain. We just call it pain. Like whatever it is, whether you're upset, you might be mad, just like physically upset, like sad. We call it pain.
Verbal
Either way,
vomit.
even the good stuff, because it all comes from a similar place.
That's the blues, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the blues.
That's actually how I look at my music. I look at it as the blues. Obviously, it's hip hop, but I think my genre, like how you have mumble rap and like gangster rap, I'm blues. I'm the blues.
Yeah,
I like it.
I agree.
I like
do
it.
I like
And the delivery in your voice, you do have that.
You hear it, right?
Blue, yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, for
It's
sure.
that pain, man.
When-
Just
yeah.
that pain.
Yeah.
You gotta do a blues guitar.
That would be
Or,
dope.
or some sax or something, some saxophone.
Man, you should
Yeah.
come jam out Street Rock sometime. Once we
No,
get it up
I
and
want
rolling
to.
again,
I
man.
want
I'd like
to,
to
man.
see you and Ao kind
Me
of
and Ao talked
collaborate a
about this.
little
I
bit.
told him like I want to really like try hip hop.
Yeah. Originally, when because I found Ao, I was doing not found him. I should be. Let me back
He was
up a little
lost.
bit.
I
discovered him.
No, I
He's walking around Walmart. He lost his mom. He couldn't find
like I'm Barry Gordy and shit.
Discovered him at Walmart.
Anyways, I was doing sound for One Fresh Set, and I'm like, you guys, and it was him and his brother Ness. I'm like, you guys need a band. And so when I originally wanted to form Street Rock, it was going to be him and his brother as the two frontmen.
Yeah.
And I was like, I signed up for two guys, not just you, pal. And that's never ended up. It was the joke going on for a while, and that's never really showed up to practice or whatever. And me and Ao did a lot of great shows, opened up for Sublime and Fishbone and a bunch of other things. So we had a lot of fun, man.
Did you do
And
Redman?
Looking for we opened up for Mobb Deep.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace to
Yeah.
Prodigy.
Oh, that was,
Just
R.I.P.
before
Prodigy,
it
man.
was a year before Prodigy passed.
Yeah, R.I.P. to P, man.
Yeah,
How was that?
that was insane.
Wow.
That was
Right.
insane. That was at the Westcott Theater.
Wow.
Dope.
No, a lot of
Keith,
fun.
right?
That was a lot of fun. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
I've been in Westcott.
But I would like to see you and him collaborate. See the dichotomy between the two of you. Have you
Yeah.
guys ever wrote anything together? or-
Not yet.
No.
But like, cause I feel like me and Ao we plan from a visual standpoint first, and
Mm-hmm.
then like Because I kind of like to work like that. I kind of like to picture what I want to do, and then everything just falls in line from there.
Right on.
So.
Right now, we got a few more minutes left. Then we got to hand it off to the D-Line Chicken Show. He does a football podcast every Thursday.
Nice.
All right, so since we're talking about football, are you familiar with Devin McCourty from the Patriots?
Yes.
It's actually my cousin.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like blood cousin.
Wasn't he the one that came up with that interception? In the
No, that was Malcolm Butler.
Oh, you're right.
But
Devin
yeah.
McCourty, though, he
finished your
nasty.
sentence.
He has a twin brother who plays for the Cleveland Browns too, Jason McCourty.
Oh, sweet.
Very cool.
So they're actually a big part of my motivation and why I believe in myself so much, because I vividly remember, like, it's crazy. I was like 9. They were always a couple years older than me, but I was at their house and like they would argue about who would be a better player in the league. Like they knew they were going to the league.
That's awesome.
It's just crazy. Like
Crazy.
And it's not like they're just in the league. I mean, they're in the league. They're
Pro
like
Bowl and two-time Super Bowl champion.
Right.
Like I vividly remember him as like a 13-year-old kid. Like, yeah, when I'm in the league,
Right.
So that's just fascinating to me.
Now he's a Super Bowl champion.
Exactly.
That's
it's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, no, that's great motivation.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Do you still have a relationship with him?
Yeah, they just got married. I went to both of their weddings. I seen a lot of NFL superstars. Got to meet a lot of those guys, so that was cool.
Yeah, that's major.
That's really great, man. That's real cool.
Yeah.
You got some good bloodline.
Yeah, good genes, man. I'm trying to carry the torch, man. I gotta.
And it's awesome, like for you, like you said, something to look up to and like
absolutely
keep you motivated.
Malcolm, you stay grinding and stay positive and stay doing your thing, and good things are gonna happen to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Same to you.
Know, that's it's
appreciate
true.
you guys.
Just be a good person. You know, we actually preach on EC Radio a lot, and the thing is, stop being a dick.
Yeah.
We're trying to tell everybody in society, stop being a dick.
Yeah, no, to put it simply.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
The world would be a way better place if everybody could just off the baseline. Just stop. Don't be a dickhead.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Say what up. Smile to a person when you see them. You know how many people I walk past and just smile at them? I don't even know.
Or hold the door for people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
How are you?
That's one of my favorite things to do. Hold
And
the
stop
door.
eating Tide Pods.
Yeah, nah. We're gonna need for that to not be a thing in 2018.
It's ridiculous.
And the butt chug. That guy's got to go too.
The dumbified of America, that's for sure.
Either that or the
Really
Darwinism is just going to work itself out.
That's crazy, man. But gentlemen, come back anytime, please.
Yes,
And
for
we
sure.
we'll talk off air and looking forward to doing some things down the road. I think we can have a lot of fun around here with you guys.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Chicken,
Yes, sir.
fuck you.
About time for football, baby.
You're ready for football. Silbra's here. He's all panicking. You're like, I gotta get these notes ready. I need to get my statistics.
He's looking up porn.
Yeah, probably his gay porn, actually. Yes.
Dudesondudes.com.
Stick around for the D-Line. We'll see you next week. It's EC Radio. We're out.
You're listening to EC Radio on the Disruption Network.
Dago, Rob, Guinea, garlic bread, pizza slinger, spaghetti bending, Victor Mon, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal, non-singer motherfucker.
That's good. EC Radio.